Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 266. What's with all the road playoff wins? I'm Nick, and we have a Harrison tonight. How we doing, Harrison?
They always say home sweet home, but apparently not. I'm good, Nick. How we doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, Dodgers. We just saw the Dodgers win the first game of the CS at home. So they just beat the Brewers 3-1. We'll get into that, but they're up 3-0 and Dodgers are rolling. But whatever. We'll dive into all of it. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shops, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you buy any of these products, please do it through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. Also have Rounding Third merch. If you search Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy, we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, tumblers, tons of stuff on there. Another great way to support us and to get our name out there. So check that out and sport some merch. And finally, on Patreon, we are starting to build a little small community where we just talk about baseball in a tighter knit group. We have an ongoing discussion in there. It's pretty awesome. We just post different clips and just talk baseball. So if you're looking for a more intimate setting to talk baseball with a smaller group of guys, come join us over there. It's really great. And we're going to have some exclusive stuff going on Patreon, especially during the off season. So check us out on Patreon. All right, we're going to get into some news. We're live watching the Blue Jays and Mariners right now. Naylor just went deep. It's 1-0 Mariners in the bottom of the second. But we're going to cover some news, and then we're going to dive right into the series. Welcome, fellas. Welcome, John. Let's go, Ems. That's right, Captain. Pulling for you guys. All right, so I see this come across my Facebook feed today. The city approves a plan to relocate the Sitco sign behind Fenway Park. This thing has been a landmark and a Fenway Park staple for years. And like when I first see that headline, as you know, headlines do, they grab your attention, right? You're like, oh my God, they're going to get rid of it. Well, not really. They're just moving it 120 feet east and they're jacking it up 30 feet. But there is a development going in, so they do have to move it. But it still will be visible from Fenway Park, which I was afraid they were just going to move it out completely.
Yeah, I panicked. I saw that. I'm like, you can't move the Citgo sign like that. I'm pretty sure it is now protected as a historic landmark, but if it wasn't, it absolutely should be. And if I remember correctly, that's actually sitting on the roof of a building, right? That's actually
I
it's
believe
not a
so. Yeah.
freestanding sign. Yeah.
Right.
So I told my wife, I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm moving the Citgo sign." She was like, "I saw that article." I'm like, "Where were you on this one?" She was like, "I thought that." She's like, "I figured you already knew, but that's crazy. Why would they move that?" And like, even my kids know. Like when we go down to the Boston Museum of Science,
Yeah.
like I look for the sign because then I know about how far away I am from Fenway. And every time we go, I'm like, "Hey, this is Citgo sign. They're Fenway Park's right nearby." And like even my kids realize how important that sign is, and they
Right.
were all like, "How do you move that? Like it's important."
Yeah. It's crazy. So
It's amazing how a literally a sign for a gas station is like such a piece of Red Sox nation.
right. Yeah. Will I still be able to see it from
Yeah.
the Mass Pike while I'm not moving in traffic? Yeah, absolutely, Edith Hankey. The ballpark would be unreasonable if they move it. Yeah. So don't worry, you'll still be able to see it from the ballpark, which was my first initial like, oh man, I hope not, but crazy.
Yeah, could you? I mean, it makes me laugh at how important that sign is to Red Sox fans and
Yeah.
just how ridiculous it seems. But I was like, that to me was bigger news than like Bregman opting out was the fact they're going to move the Sitco sign.
Well, funny you say that, Harrison. So here we go.
Oh,
Alex
weird.
Bregman opting out of his contract. Where does he end up landing?
Um, yeah, I mean, granted, I'm not surprised. I said it when he signed. I thought it was probably just going to be a 1-year deal. He couldn't get the long-term deal worked out that he wanted. So he took the highest annual value he could find. The Red Sox offered him $40 million. Yeah, good for him. He missed a big chunk of the season. He was great when he was on the field. So, I mean, opting out to me is no surprise. I thought we'd be here. Um, I think there are several teams that are going to take a look at him. I think the Tigers are still desperate to get that kind of third base position locked down and get that right-handed bat. The Red Sox are for sure going to be talking to him. I have no doubt. John Temple, I think Houston is absolutely going to look at a reunion because they desperately need a bat. That offense, I mean, you losing Jordan for a while hurts, but that offense could have used another bat. I think he's going to have a pretty good size market.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm torn. I think he liked it in Boston this year. He just couldn't stay on the field. I really do think he liked it here. I don't know if Boston's going to give him the years though. And
No.
I'm kind of leaning this way to you, Yated Hanky. I think the Tigers feel how close they are. I think that they might go all in on Bregman here. And Forrest, this is a great point too. The Phillies are not out. They got a lot of money coming off the books, and they could totally get in on this Bregman sweepstakes, especially if they move on from Bohm. So the Phillies, he's going to the Dodgers. I mean, yeah,
it'll be a 7-year
not,
deal, 7 years, 300 million, 100 and what, let's say 100% of it deferred.
Yeah, I mean, legit. So yeah, I mean, can't count the Dodgers out. Agree. But Ryan, I'm with you. I am here for that. I think the Tigers they feel how close they are.
Yeah.
They're so close. They get another starting pitcher and they bring a guy like Alex Bregman in that knows how to win, can show these young kids how to do it. I think Detroit's the front runner here.
Let's put it this to back you up on that one, Ryan. Skubal lost 4 starts in a row. Sorry, 4 out of 5 starts, but he lost 4 starts between September and the playoffs, where he gave up a total of 9 runs in those 4 starts.
Yeah.
To give you a sense where that offense can be some days.
Right.
They need another bat.
Mm-hmm. And Bregman could tear that ballpark apart. There's a lot of gaps to have.
Yeah, his home run numbers would go down, but his doubles will probably go through the roof.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it's Detroit 1. I'd say Boston 2, Dodgers 3, Houston 4. I think is how I would rank it.
Yeah, and I think that depending on what happens with Geno, I mean, the Diamondbacks or the Mariners could be a potential play for him. Again, like, it's really hard to start predicting free agents when we've got all these opt-outs that are going to create this domino effect through the market.
Yeah.
But I do think Bregman's going to have a better market this year than he had last year. And I would not be surprised if a lot of teams are in. I will say, back to the point that Forrest made about Philadelphia, I think Philadelphia is a dark horse this offseason because I think they're going to make a lot of changes because the realization is you can't win with that group you've got. So you've got to do something different. And I suspect there's going to be a lot of turnover there.
And you got the right GM in the right seat to make all those big moves.
Yeah,
he will do it.
Dombrowski has to use a wheelbarrow to carry his nuts into the office every day. That guy is not afraid to make big moves, spend big money, and he will do it. And he's also not afraid to dump half the team and sign a fresh batch. I mean, we got to see it up close in Boston. He is ruthless, but he will go get the pieces.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to kind of stay in the news here. We're going to switch to managers real quick, and then we're going to dive into the series. So if you're here for playoff talk, we're getting there. We're just trying to get all the news out of the way first, and then we can dive really into the playoffs here. Yeah, Philadelphia is revamping for sure, Captain. We're with you. It's just how they revamp is going to be fun to watch for sure. Albert Pujols has definitely come up as a name for a lot of managers positions. Andres Jimenez just went deep again for the Blue Jays. This dude's hit 4 home runs all year. He's gone hitting a home run back-to-back nights. 2-1 Jays. Crazy.
Something like your 9-hole hitter going yard.
Unreal.
A little bonus.
Yeah, so anyways, sorry, squirrel there. Albert
It's
Pujols
it's
is
what happens when you're a live show and you're live watching the playoffs,
yeah,
man.
exactly. So Albert Pujols has been rumored to be with the Angels. Now the Orioles kind of come up today. Um, where do you think Albert Pujols ends up? Because we have teams coming out of the woodwork being like, yeah, we want Pujols on the bench. So what bench do we see Albert Pujols on next year?
I mean, I think that the Angels are going to be the most aggressive because they desperately need somebody who could be there for a while, somebody who's going to draw attention, somebody who players are going to want to come play for. Albert Pujols has all that cachet. However, if I'm Albert Pujols, I'd rather go to Baltimore and work with that young group of players. Understanding I don't have an unlimited budget, I think in the end, Artie Moreno's got more money than the Orioles are willing to spend. But the Orioles have the better farm system and young players, and I think a guy like Albert Pujols would love being around a younger developing group because that's when you look at him in the various places he's shown up as a manager or a coach, he's always like on the field working with guys. He wants to be a hands-on developmental manager. Baltimore is the best chance for that.
Yep, I can see that point. And Captain's with you. Give Albert a chance.
Yep.
Don't go to the Angels.
No.
I mean, I totally get that part. But yeah, please don't go to the Angels. They don't deserve you. Now, so I'm kind of going to go against you guys a little bit. I completely understand what you're saying, but Albert Pujols has been an ambassador for the Angels like after he was done playing. He had that little front office role or whatever, so he knows what the organization's about. That being said, maybe he doesn't go there because he does know what the organization's about and he
Also
does end
fair.
up right. So, but for me, like that would be comfortable for him. I think it would be a nice, easy first job, possibly just because he's familiar with the organization, how it's run. He could kind of go in there and still make it his own, but he's comfortable with the process.
Yeah.
Baltimore, I don't even know what to think about Baltimore right now. I mean, we were talking about them the last 2 years, first round playoff exits. They're close, right? This year we were high on them. It's like, all right, they have to make the next step. They didn't sign free agent pitching after losing Corbin Burns. And we're just like, now what do we think about the Orioles? We don't know. And they took a massive step back.
Yep.
So does Pujols want to go back in there or not back in there? Does he want to go in there into that? Because they're backpedaling and I don't see them stopping anytime soon because the Orioles aren't going to spend in free agency.
No, the Orioles won't spend in free agency like a team like the Angels might. The Angels have some money to spend. They finally lose the Rendon contract after this year. So, or after I should say after 26 this coming year. So I, mean, I think the Angels are going to will be aggressive again. And I'm a guy like Albert. I'm basically making sure that is the case. But at the same time, like I feel like the Orioles have this good young core. They have a farm system full of young guys waiting to get up. Albert is very much a hands-on player development kind of guy. I think when you look at fit, I feel like Baltimore is the better fit for him because it's going to give him the chance to be, kind of he's going to be like the idol of all these kids that are coming up that want to hang out with him and learn from him. And he's got all that cachet. I do think that a guy like Albert, because of the respect he has, will attract players that want to come and play for him, no matter where he is. I just think Baltimore is probably the better opportunity because you've got a more solid foundation. And it's all homegrown versus the Angels where you've got more money and you could go get guys. But you kind of see I see a path to the playoffs for the Orioles a lot clearer than I see one for the Angels.
For sure. I mean, the Angels do have a nice young core that is coming up, and we've seen them the last couple of years. It's getting there. And like you said, they have to get out from underneath this Rendon contract. It is absolutely hamstringing them.
Brutal.
It's bad. But either way, I think to Ryan's point here, it's definitely gonna bring attendance in for sure. People are want to go to see Albert as a manager. And we're going to get to see him firsthand in the WBC before he's even in an MLB clubhouse. So looking forward to that. But ultimately, I think I'm leaning towards the Angels. He ends up there just because of the familial I can never say this word.
Familiarity.
Familiarity. Thank you.
Got it.
I'm brutal with that word. Than the Orioles. But, I've known to be wrong quite a bit on this podcast, and I will definitely go back on my word if I am. But for me, I think it's the Angels.
Well, and I think the Angels are going to be the most aggressive, and they're going to make the best. They're going to make him the best offer. They're going to promise him they're going to promise him whatever he needs to be promised, and because they need to get that dugout anchored. It's been a revolving door.
Yep.
The Joe Madden experiment went sideways fast.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Ron Washington with the health. Phil Nevin, they've had a difficult time getting that all settled. So a guy like Albert is a guy who could be your manager for 5, 7, 10 years. Who knows? And again, a guy that played the game, played there, has been around the organization, tons of respect around the league, Hall of Famer. I mean, this is the kind of guy that players are going to want to come play for because of who he is. So I think no matter where Albert goes, he's gonna bring people with him. But I think if I'm him, I like the Orioles. I do believe the Angels are going to make it very, very hard for him to pick anybody but them.
Yep. Yeah, agree. John Carter. Listen, I bet that's why Yated Hanky has been silent. He's probably changing his YouTube handle right now. So thanks for that. Rendon, the first third baseman to ever work remotely. That's incredible, Ryan. Nice one, man.
Yeah. The only problem is, that dude doesn't turn his Zoom camera on. He just sits there with it black.
And muted, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He's not actually there, but he just makes it seem like he is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, this is brutal. We got 2-1, top of the third. Jays got the bases loaded. Crazy.
I love it. Come on, Blue Jays.
All right.
Sorry, Mariners fans.
Yeah.
All right. Let's be serious. The Mariners went into Toronto and beat their brains in. It's only fair that Toronto comes back and does the same.
I mean, fair. All right. Mike Schilt, and I have Forrest Gump sitting next to him on the bench here because his quote was absolutely incredible. He's like, I think I'm tired. I'm going to go home now, dude. Like, I mean, leaves chat to change name. Yep. Course. Yeah, his quote was like literally Forrest Gump-esque, and I'm just like, I can't not put him on here with Forrest Gump. But
perfect.
The San Diego Padres, man, what do they do? Who takes this job? Where's the organization heading? They can't get out of the NL West. They can't get past the first round. They were in the driver's seat last year, couldn't get past the Dodgers. They had the Dodgers on the ground and kicking them, and they let them stand back up, and then they just got absolutely knocked out. Where do the Padres go? What do they do?
I mean, this is a team built on big contracts and big personalities. And as much as that team probably needs a kind of a hard ass for a manager, to get those guys to kind of take this thing seriously and be professionals, I think you bring that in, they're going to fight it. So I don't know what you do in San Diego. I think as I said when the season ended for them, is that they have a lot of soul searching to do about who they want to be. AJ Preller sold the future for this season. Didn't make it, and he pretty well emptied the minor leagues. You have big contracts you can't trade. You've got big decisions to make around people like Yu Darvish. Dylan Cease is gone. You got a bunch of guys that are leaving. This is a massive, I think, year of transition for them. And I don't know what direction they go because I don't think they've got a lot of moves they can make. I think they've got to find some way to bring in a manager who could mesh with that group, bring in a few pieces to fill that gaps they have, and just try to find a way to salvage what they've got, because you're stuck with Machado, you're stuck with Tatis, you're stuck with Bogarts. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't trade those contracts.
Yep. Ryan says, as a Cardinals fan, I feel like Mike holds people accountable, and today's MLB can't handle it. At least that's what happened here. Fair.
It explains a lot then about what happened in San Diego. I mean, and that's we liked when Schilt went there. Actually, we liked the last couple managers that have gone to San Diego that have all had a difficult time succeeding there. But Schilt was an old school baseball guy, and it didn't work. It never fit.
Yep. Yeah, we liked Melvin going there, and we are like, well, maybe this
And
is the piece they need, and then nope.
well, and Melvin was what, 2 years and out? I mean, Schilt 2 years and out. Nobody lasts
Yeah,
in
yeah,
San Diego. It's just
no,
it's that team, like I said, it's built on big contracts and big personality. And good luck trying to get those guys to all do the same thing together.
yeah, yeah. San Diego's gonna Padre back to the 50-year rebuild. Yeah, for sure.
But
I
it's
mean,
a great case study to the GMs around the league of, if you're going to make commitments that are big commitments to these players, you got to make sure you know who you're making that commitment to.
mm-hmm.
And seeing guys like Tatis, the PEDs and the whole, was a dirt bike, whatever the
Dirt
hell he
bike.
got in trouble
Yeah.
with,
Mm-hmm.
and then Machado still doing his childish crap, and you threw Bogarts a huge bag of cash with the decline staring you right in the face, and then AJ Preller sells the future. I don't. That organization is all over the place, and they have no clear direction. And AJ Preller was at one point considered to be one of the best GMs in the game, and I think that team and he have both lost their way.
Yeah, but winning changes that, right? Like if AJ Preller made all those moves and the Padres win, we're looking at it differently. Now, I know it's the whole what if game. Like we can play that all day. I get it. But I feel like I'm kind of on his side. Like he had to do something to try to get this team over the hump. I think he was kind of backed into a corner, and that's what he had to do at the moment, was to do whatever he could to get those guys there to make them better. And the moves he made they're probably the only reason you guys were still in it.
Yeah.
Laureano was a monster down the stretch. Mason Miller out of the bullpen was unhittable. Those guys were huge for you down the stretch. If you didn't make those moves, you guys aren't even competing in the playoffs at all. I mean, I think
No,
they had
it's
it
true.
locked up for quite a while, but you know what I mean.
But I mean,
They were the only ones that made a difference.
They were out of the playoffs for a stretch there too, and then they were back in it and kind of hanging on. I mean, I think that did Preller get him to the playoffs? Yeah, he did. But at the same time, that you knew that core wasn't going to get you there,
Right.
and you sold the future to take one final shot before this window closed. And the hard part is that you look at what like DeVries has done in the minor leagues for the A's, and he would have pushed Bogarts off the shortstop position before too long and pushed him to second base or third, and you would have had to move Machado to first. Like you would have had to make some shuffling, but
Mm-hmm.
you had an insane amount of talent coming up that you now don't have. So you've got to go back out to the open market and try to lure people away with money, and you already have a payroll constraint because you don't have any money.
Yeah.
So they're in a very weird spot. Some of it they can't control. Some of that Preller has created, but that's going to be a tough job to get somebody excited about.
I agree. I don't know who takes it. I really don't. I don't have anybody in mind. Really.
No, and if I'm a guy like Rocco Baldelli, who we haven't heard a lot about, I don't think that's a phone call I even take. I don't think I want to go to San Diego.
No. Nope. I don't want to compete in that NLS gauntlet anyways. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean that division is brutal. That organization is brutal. That market is small. And you look at that team and you're like, I'm stuck with these guys for a while.
Well, possibly.
Yeah, I mean he may own the last 2 years too, so who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Albert, would he?
There's been no mention of Albert connected to San Diego, but I mean that news about Schilt leaving is still news, so who knows?
Would he get the respect from his players though, or would those guys still see Albert as a quote unquote peer? You know what I mean? Not necessarily like a head coach type of scenario.
I
I mean,
think
Machado's played with him, for crying out loud.
he has, and that's why I think it would work. I think he would walk into that room and guys would be like, "Oh shit, Albert's here!" Like everybody, chill out. He's like the big brother. You don't want to disappoint him. Like I feel like the relationship with Albert would be different because he was a peer, because he is a Hall of Famer, because he's done the things you want to do. I think that he comes with a level of credibility that a guy like Schilt would just never have.
I get that, but it is also really hard to manage your friends, right? I mean, Machado's from the DR. He's
Mhm.
been in touch with Pujols. I know he has. So will Machado take direction from Pujols? I don't I don't know. Like that would be my question going into it. And Ryan and Captain, I'm with you. Would they listen to him? I'm not sure. And then Ryan backs that up with, when your team leader is Machado, your problem is signed long term, and he
Well,
sets the wrong example.
he does, but I do think that if you bring in another outsider, they're going to see him as that. He's an outsider. This is just another one of these guys who's going to tell me what to do, but he never really did it himself. You bring in
Okay.
Albert, who, with the relationship, he could sit Manny down and be like, dude, this is how we're going to do it. And I need you to get on board. A new manager probably can't have the same direct conversation with Manny on day one that Albert probably could. At the same time, no, Machado could also just be like, dude, I don't care. Like, we're friends. Chill out. I'm not going to, you're not going to be the boss of me, as I tell my daughter all the time and she ignores me. And maybe he wouldn't take it well, but I think it's really easy to basically tell your friends the brutal, honest truth because you've got that relationship. Whereas an outsider have to come in and try to like build the relationship and feel his way around. Albert can just walk in on day one and be like, "Manny, sit down. You're my buddy. I need you. You got to have my back. If I'm going to have yours."
Yeah.
And you could probably break through to him a lot faster.
Yeah.
And Hall of Famer, all that credibility. I think guys would see him as one of them versus another white-haired dude from the outside.
That's fair. Yeah, Captain said it's also easy to call your friends out on their BS. So like I can definitely see both sides of it.
Yep.
But
It's
I don't know.
But
We'll see.
no matter who it is, that's going to be a challenging job
Yeah. 1,000%.
for a lot of reasons.
All right. Stay with us with the manager. We got two more to talk about here. It's crazy. Rob Thompson will return as the manager of the Phillies. Phillies fans everywhere. I have the Schwarber meltdown with Angel Hernandez. I have Trey Turner spiking a helmet, and I have Bryce Harper just being like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Taking a dump like you did in the playoffs.
Brutal. If the Phillies are blowing it up, which we're under the assumption that they are, right? Most likely going to blow this thing up. Why not the manager? They already told him he's safe.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, if you're gonna pull the pin on the grenade, you might as well just let's go all the way and just blow the whole thing up. But I think the Phillies, if I'm Dombrowski, my thought is if I fix the manager, I can't do as much to the team as I want to do because I lose all my stability. If I
Okay.
want to blow the team up, I really got to keep the manager to transition this thing. And I think that's what Dombrowski's doing. He's looking at it as I'm going to blow the roster up and keep the manager to help me transition from the old guys to the new guys. And I'll give him one more year. If he can't get it done next year, then he's gone. But I need to build myself a bridge between what's going to be two very different looking teams. And I think that's the only thing in my mind that makes it make sense is that Dombrowski just doesn't want instability both in the roster and in the office because that could just create chaos.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good point. I've never really thought of it that way because, I mean, for me, I'm like, hey, if I'm blowing this thing up, I'm blowing it up. Like I don't want to just half blow something up. I want to see the whole thing go up in smoke, right?
Yeah.
I
Mushroom
mean,
cloud.
yeah, exactly. And I think that the Phillies almost have to reset here. They can't, they
Yeah.
are, kind of like the Brewers. Yeah, Brewers won a playoff series this year, but the Phillies haven't been able to win. They can't get over the hump either. So, and I get it, right? Losing Wheeler absolutely hurt
Yeah.
them. But they got so many guys coming off the books, right? And Ryan, this is good. Like Ranger Suarez, do you bring him back, right? You have Schwarber coming off. You have a couple pieces that you have been rumored to be moving the last couple of years. So what happens? I don't know, but I never thought about the manager stability piece if they are going to put a grenade in that clubhouse. It makes sense.
Yeah, because I think if you read what they said, this is not like a vote of confidence for Rob Thompson. It's more of just a he'll return. That was all they said. It was like the least exciting announcement of he's coming back I've ever seen. And I think in my mind, it's just Dombrowski trying to avoid having all the wheels come off the bus. as he tries to pivot this organization. But I do think you look around, pretty sure Realmuto is a free agent. You've got Bohm you've got to deal with. You got Marsh you got to deal with. You got Castellanos you got to deal with. Schwarber's a free agent. Suarez is a free agent. You don't know what's happening with Wheeler. Christopher Sanchez has really kind of emerged as your stud.
Guys,
so you've
ridiculous.
You've still got Duran in the back of the bullpen. Like you've got some pieces and you've got a bunch of holes. And I think it's gonna cause Dombrowski to go out there and make some wholesale changes that may require some stability in the manager's office just to see it through and try to meld what's going to be two very different teams.
Yeah. John Carter said, who knows what Aaron Nola has left too, right? We don't know there.
Also true.
And Ryan, we talked about this with the New York Yankees too, right? The Yankees are in this same boat. The offense is being built on a 5-run homer, and the ridiculous K rate was doomed to fail, right? I made the comparison: live and die by the 3-pointer in the NBA, live and die by the 3-run bomb in the MLB. That's what it's turning into. You don't hit it, you lose. That end of story. That's it.
Yeah, and you had great seasons from Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber. You had a good season from Harper, but I feel like Harper's not the same guy anymore. I feel like he's lost something. Realmuto wasn't the same guy, although he had a good season. And at the catcher position, he's still one of the better catchers in the league. But there's just a lot on that team that doesn't work. I feel like the Phillies and the Yankees are built the same way. It's a fantasy roster, but when you put them on the field and make them all play together, the pieces just don't fit.
Yeah, crazy. Oh, Jamie Moyer threw out the first pitch tonight.
How did I miss that?
It. Oh man, crazy.
It's because the other game wasn't over yet.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Although it was basically over, but anyways.
Yeah. All right. Last manager slide here. Promise. Mark DeRosa, reportedly the top candidate for the Atlanta Braves managerial position. How do we like this one?
I like D-Row a lot.
I do too.
I think he was good in the WBC. I think he's great on MLB Network. He's very well respected around the league. I think he was not somebody I thought wanted to manage yet. I thought after the WBC, they asked him about managing. He's like, I'm not really there yet. So I didn't think this was something that was on the radar for him. I think it's great he's throwing his hat in the ring. The Braves, I think, are probably a good fit for him, a slightly more veteran team experience that he can kind of come into and just, I would say learn around veterans versus try to learn around youngsters. But DeRosa was a good player in his own right. He knows his way around the organization. I think he would be he'd be a good fit. And yes, absolutely right. Being a former Brave, you've got the organizational familiarity. I think guys will love to play for him. I think guys will enjoy having him in the clubhouse and in the dugout. I think he'd be a great fit a lot of places, but Atlanta, I think, would be really great because that is a veteran team that I think would respect him.
I think this guy is the perfect candidate for this job because you look how he has managed Team USA and all the egos on that team and being able to sit that team down and be like, listen, fellas, this isn't about us individually. This is about us as a team. We're putting everything aside, and I want you to just go outside and play ball. Like his pregame speeches and the speeches that he has before they even get out on the field are incredible. And the players respect that. It's like, hey, I know each and every one of you in this clubhouse are absolute studs. You guys are superstars. But right now, I don't need you to be a superstar. I need you to be a team. And I think he can bring that message to the Braves. Now, the only thing with the Braves, and we've said this, is injuries. They can't stay on the field. And a manager can't help you out with that. Right? I mean, that it is what it is. But I think D-Row can get the best out of the guys that are on the bench. The next guy up, he can get them to play and plug or plug and play, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, play and plug might work too. I don't know. Depends on the situation. But I do think, I think even more so than Rocco Baldelli, Rocco is a player's manager with a bit of a disciplinarian side to him that I think works well with a team that's maybe not quite as experienced. I think D-Rose an even better option for a team like the Braves, who really need somebody just to come in there, settle things down, make sure that they've got what they need, and just keep them focused.
Yeah.
Because that's not a team that needs a lot of like developmental work. You're not going to be out there like showing guys how to take ground balls like the Red Sox did to Roman Anthony. You need a guy that can make the lineup card, know how guys are feeling, put them in the right spot, and then just kind of be a sounding board.
Yeah. I mean, John, this is a fair point. Is that sustainable over 162? Seems like the raw works in small doses, which the WBC is, right?
Mm.
But I'd take him. I'd take him in a heartbeat in the Red Sox dugout. 1,000%. Bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about some of the best managers in baseball history, Bobby Cox, Lou Piniella, Joe Torre, Tony La Russa, I don't think any of those guys owned a smile, but they were like baseball tacticians, and behind closed doors, players loved them because they told you how it was. They took good care of you. They always had your back, but they also weren't afraid to grab you by the throat when you needed it. DeRosa's not that kind of guy. He's going to give you some, he might give you a little tough love, but he's going to be the guy who wants to pat you on the back and pick you up. And I think you're right to a certain extent, John. When that doesn't work, it doesn't work and it's bad. When that does work, it's exactly the formula. But there are teams where that rah, pat you on the back thing absolutely will not work. I don't think the Braves are one of those teams, but there may be players like Acuna that maybe that's not the right fit for them. And that is where things get a little weird.
Yeah, I agree.
But I to your point, Nick, I love D-Row. I think he'd be great in a lot of places.
Yep, agree. Fully agree. All right. Let's jump in to the playoff discussion right now. Here we go. ALCS, Blue Jays, Mariners, games 1 and 2, kind of lumped them together here. Like I called it, the Battle of the Space Needles here. Blue Jays were nowhere to be found in games 1 and 2. Really, I didn't even seem like the same Blue Jays team showed up for this series that we had seen.
I mean, it looked like an intra-squad scrimmage for the Mariners, the way those games played out.
Yeah. Is Bo Bichette's absence in those first 2 games anyways, we'll get to game 3 in a minute, was that showing in the first 2 games? Because the Mariners were in complete control in Toronto.
Yeah, I think the first 2 games were a couple of things. One, I do think that Bichette's absence is starting to show. You're not getting the same production at the top. I said it going into it, you need these other guys to step up, Kirk and Lucas and these guys who stepped up in game 3. Like they showed up in game 3. They just didn't show up for games 1 and 2. But I think you are feeling Bichette's absence because he's such a stabilizing, consistent force. And I think too, you were coming off the Yankee hangover. That was such a big series for them. The way they just absolutely pounded the Yankees. I think there was a little bit of a hangover because it was a quick turnaround from the way that series ended to jump into the next one. I think there was a little bit of a hangover coming off that high, and they got very humbled by the Mariners at home. The Mariners are coming off a similar high, but they were fighting to the very end. They were still in that fight mode. They came out in game 1 fast. They were still very much in that 15-inning game mode. So I do think that there's a couple of things going on in Toronto, but also Seattle just came in hot. They were everything that, and my goodness, Polanco, I don't even know what you do with that guy.
Yeah, he's got a go ahead or game winning RBI in like 3 straight playoff games or something like that. It was just insane. It was like, stop pitching to this guy right now. He's the only one beating you.
Literally, we're texting back and forth, and I'm like, Polanco, he only gets hits when it matters.
Yeah,
like the guy had 4 hits in the DS, and they were all important. 2 home runs, a double, and a game-winning RBI single. He comes out of the gate in games 1 and 2, and he's lighting up the scoreboard again. The dude only hits when it matters.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Mariners roll through the first 2 games. The series switches to Seattle, and the Blue Jays just absolutely flipped the script and just demolished the Mariners last night. Like they weren't even on the field, and it was batting practice. Vlad Jr., 4 hits, a home run, 2 doubles, and a single. And his last hit, the double, they wanted him to go for the the triple so hard. He should have got. I mean, they had a 10-run lead at that point. Just go for it.
Yep. Yeah,
I
he was
mean,
getting screamed at from the dugout. I mean, Julio even threw the ball in, kind of like almost like daring him to keep going. It was
right.
kind of a lollipop throw in, thinking that he was already probably making the turn, but it would have been so awesome to see a cycle. But I mean, again, like Vlad was quiet in games 1 and 2. It's because he had nobody on in front of him. They were kind of pitching around him, and he was chasing some stuff. He finally had guys on base, and he just absolutely brutalized them. But again, contributions from Kirk and Lucas. Like, you had all these guys you were hoping would show up in Bo Bichette's absence that didn't in games 1 and 2. They showed up in game 3.
Yeah, and Andres Jimenez. Like,
Yeah, and Jimenez,
crazy.
who isn't even a home run hitter,
Yeah,
has
he's the
got
one that he got
back-to-back
it.
home runs.
Yep, and he got it started. Polanco, if you're the Twins, you trade him. Shaking my head.
Yeah.
Polanco playing like the prime Reggie Jackson. Not wrong. And Minnesota wants Polanco back right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is,
Man.
I mean, Captain, I think a lot of fans, you're not rooting for the M's, but you still wanted to see Vladdy get the cycle. I think we all did. I mean, that would have been so cool to see. I remember Brock Holt's cycle in the playoffs of the Red Sox, and that was amazing. Just such a boost to the team.
Yep, he's the only one too to ever have a playoff cycle, which is crazy in all the league's history. It's the only one. Yeah, he
We're gonna
barely
need to do
stayed
a
upright going into second.
Yeah. We're gonna need to do a wellness check on John. He's not gonna make it through this series.
Yeah, he's struggling for sure. But
I mean, Dan Wilson is doing what he did in the DS, which is making odd decisions when they've got a cushion. But I don't know. He's full on in panic mode right now.
yeah. So we got 3-1 Toronto, top of the fourth here, 1 out, runner on second. How do we feel like the rest of this series is going to pan out? For me, I don't know. It has been such one-sided in both games, kind of like Seattle dominating in Toronto, Toronto dominating in Seattle. I don't even know where to go with this. I don't. No clue.
No, I mean, I'm going to stick to what I thought, which is Blue Jays, and it probably goes 7. I think this one is going to go the distance because that's how I think it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of back and forth like we thought. I thought it'd be game by game, not 2 at a time. But I mean, either way, I think we're going to end up in the same place where this series probably goes a distance. After game 2, I'm like, oh my goodness, the Blue Jays are cooked. Like, I don't know how they come back from this. They got to come out in game 3 and make a statement, and they did. And I think you're seeing that momentum carry over. And now you get the Mariners a little bit nervous because they were flying high and got a bit of a rude awakening. So I still think it goes the distance, and it's going to be a great series. But the start had me concerned.
George Springer RBI double 4-1 Blue Jays now.
And Springer's an animal. Holy
yeah,
and he's gotten hot again. Like, holy cow.
Yeah, I think I had the Mariners in this. I picked the Mariners. If this Blue Jays lineup is awake and you're hitting this Mariners pitching staff like you are, Mariners could be in trouble here. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not sure who said it today. Actually, it might have been DeRosa who said it on MLB Network. But basically, you can't go back to Toronto. Like, the Mariners have to shut this down because if you let the Blue Jays hang around long enough, they will bite you. And his whole thing was, you need to win the next 2 nights and end this thing in Seattle because you do not want to take your chances back in Toronto.
No, absolutely not. Now, they do have Brian Wu going tomorrow, right? I thought he was supposed to pitch tonight. But he must have gotten pushed off.
Tomorrow's going to be the kid who pitched game 1, and Wu's going to be available out of the bullpen. They're not ready to let Wu start,
okay.
it sounds like.
All right. Wow.
Is it who pitched in game 1? Why am I blanking on his name?
Gilbert? Was it Logan Gilbert?
No, it was oh my goodness. Having a complete utter brain fart.
I am too. Hold on.
I want to say Shelby Miller, but that's not his name.
No, I got him. Hold on.
This is a great show right now. Everybody.
Yeah,
Hang
this
with
is
us.
awesome. Who started game 1? I can see his face and I can't. Whatever. I don't got it. I really don't. But yeah, for me, if they've let the Blue Jays offense kind of wake up here, that sounds right. Yeah, Bryce Miller.
Thank you. Yeah, they're going to go with him and get in game 5, and then have Woo available out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
I kept
Yeah.
wanting to call him Shelby Miller.
Yeah. No, he
Showing
was a
my age.
closer for the Diamondbacks this year. Yeah, for me, you wake up this or you let this Blue Jays lineup wake up. I think Mariners could be in trouble here. I don't think it all comes down to the managing, although Wilson has had some questionable moves. It comes down to pitchers being able to execute, and they haven't. They haven't consistently, like this Mariners pitching staff can.
Yep.
So I think Mariners could be in trouble.
Yeah.
And their offense has to wake up.
Well, it does, and they were getting contributions from everybody the first couple games, and the last, what are we at now? Like 15 innings, 14 innings. They've been pretty quiet.
Yeah. Springer playing angry. Yeah, when that dude's right, man, he is one of the best in the game. Really
And
good.
in the playoffs, there's few players that have had more success than that guy.
Yeah.
Sean, I don't know that Dan Wilson's on drugs, but he might be popping a lot of antacid.
Yeah, for sure. Anything to add to this series before? I mean, I know we're right in the thick of it, so kind of hard to guess, predict, especially with a series that has been so black and white. Anything else to kind of add to this before we switch over to the NLCS debacle?
No, I think it's playing out exactly like we thought it would. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, and it's been a lot of fun to watch, and I think it's going to be a great series all the way to the end.
Yeah. I still think it could be a dogfight. But after the night the Blue Jays had last night and the leadership that Vladdy's bringing to them right now, I think the Mariners could be in trouble. This Blue Jays offense is good. They're putting the ball in play. They're hitting it hard. They're going to be hard to contain for sure.
Yeah. This is not a lineup that any pitcher is excited to go face.
No. All right. On top of that, Anthony Santander removed from the ALCS roster, making him ineligible for the World Series. My question to you, is this signing a bust, or is it still too early to tell?
I mean, I think it's still too early to tell. It's only the first season in Toronto. It was what, a 4-year deal he signed? So, I mean, it's only year one.
Wasn't it more? I think it was more than that.
I thought it was only a 4. Maybe it was longer than that. But either way, year one. I mean, I think it's certainly disappointing. I don't think he's a bust yet. But what concerns me, this is a back issue that's continued to reoccur throughout this season. This will be the third time he's missed time because of the back.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is Trout, degenerative back condition. Like you've got these guys that develop these problems and can never get over them. I think that's my concern. Is this just an injury that's going to be okay after a long winter, or is this something that's going to keep coming back and be part of his life going forward?
Yeah. I just sent to you. It was 5 and 92.
Oh, that's right. 5 and 92.
So either way, definitely. I'm kind of with you, Captain. Definitely too early. Yeah, Danny backs us up. So 5 years. It's early, but backs reoccur a lot. We've seen it with Trout, and the injuries he's had, unfortunately. Christian Yelich, right? All of that. We'll get to him in a little bit. It's not great. Not great. You sign a long-term deal. You're looking to make a huge impact, and you've really been nowhere to be found. And even when he came back for the couple games that he played with the Jays here in the postseason, he didn't really make an impact. What, couple hits, maybe? So for me, I think this is a bust. I'm calling it right now. I think it's a bust. Now, again, last time I called somebody a bust, they, went 3 for 4 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. But,
you're like the opposite of the Madden curse.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for me, it's a bust. If you've only signed him for 5 years, you completely lost one of those years. So now essentially he's a 4-year, $92 million player because you got nothing out of him this year.
Yeah, you got 54 games of really terrible play.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's a bust already.
I mean, the only thing that's working for him is he's only 30. He turns 31 later or over the weekend. Only 31. You got 4 more years. This is a lost year, but if this is a recurring back issue, that's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, you've got some young guys who are stepping in and able to play. But this is a guy who played 155 games in 24, 153 in 23, 152 in 22. I mean, in 3 years, he missed all of 30 games? And
Yeah.
those are probably just rest days. And this is a guy that doesn't usually miss time. So this is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But the back makes me nervous.
Same. All right. Let's
whoa, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
John, you're sounding like a Red Sox fan. Where you think the game's over in the 4th inning if you don't tie it up. I mean, John, this Mariners team is dangerous and they can score whenever. Only Red Sox fans are like, if we don't tie this game in the 4th, it's over. That's such a Boston thing.
For sure.
Where the minute we're losing in a game, it's done. Like 1-0 1st inning, it's over. Turn it off.
To our defense, we don't have a bullpen to hold the lead. So,
well, and for a lot of years, we just got abused. So we kind of just learned to accept losing.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's switch over to the National League, whatever this is, because this has been, and I said it on Sunday for the prediction show. I said this series, to me, the one key of this is the Dodgers starters, and holy cow, have they been lights out. Blake Snell, Cy Young stuff game 1, absolutely dominated. And then Yamamoto, complete game 2. Crazy. Now, I do want to get to that double play in game 1 because that is the weirdest thing I had ever seen. The base running was terrible. The play was crazy. So they got bases loaded, 1 out. Max Muncy hits the ball, I mean, inches from going out. Frelick jumps up. He makes contact with the ball, pops out of his glove, hits the top of the wall, comes back down, and Frelick catches it in the air off the wall. Teoscar starts to go, goes back, starts to go again, goes back, freezes, and then takes off because he realizes that it's a forced play, and he gets forced out at home. An 8-6-2 force out at home, and then Contreras runs to third and steps on third to end the inning because Will Smith went back to second after touching third. And I'm like, what just happened here? So it was terrible base running by Teoscar because, as soon as the ball is touched by an outfielder, the tag play is off, right? Because you can't catch the ball and then juggle it all the way into the infield to prevent the runner from going. So as soon as it initially touches the glove, the tag play is off. You can go. And that's where Teoscar got completely hung up on. He was like, he caught it. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. So he got caught going back and forth 2 or 3 times when if he knew the initial rule, as soon as Frelick touched it, he should have gone. And then the forced play doesn't happen. But what a wild play that was.
Well, and where the hell was the third base coach in all this yelling? Like, Teoscar's like running in circles in the baseline trying to figure out which direction to go. I mean, the base coach, from what I could see in the replay, was just standing there watching him. Like, I don't even think he's saying anything or waving at him. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And to Mike Reed, to your point, he should have been on the bag to tag up anyways. Why the hell was he halfway down the line when the ball was coming through? I don't like, nothing about the whole play makes any sense. It was horrible.
It was really bad. It took the heat off of Ryan Kirkering at least.
Man, that dude. Whew.
Yeah, that was bad. That was the worst base running I've ever seen. Dodgers went to the Yankee School of Baseball running. Routine can of corn. I mean, I learned in Little League, as soon as the outfielder touches it, go. That's it.
Right.
You don't have to look back to see if he struggled it or whatever.
Because even if he does catch it, as long as it's made contact with his glove, you're good to tag and go. So again, like, the whole play makes no sense. Teoscar should have been tagging anyways. So why was he halfway down the baseline? The whole thing shouldn't have mattered. But it turned into this absolute circus. The only base running worse than that was that Javi Baez play, where he like completely messed up that poor first baseman. That is the only time I've seen something worse play wise, and that was on the defense doing it.
Man,
that play turned into a circus fast.
That play was still incredible.
Oh my god, it was unreal.
Yeah. So I did that.
None of it should have happened.
No. I did that in men's league once, like grown man's little league is what I call it. I had a dribbler down the first baseline, and I stopped and started heading back towards home plate. And the first baseman's like, "Oh, he can't do that. He's out. He's out." And I go, "Dude, okay, keep going." So he gives up on the tag, and I run by him and beat him to first base. The umpires call me safe, and the guy was losing his mind and couldn't figure out why. I was like, dude, it's not a one-way street here, dude. It's a baseline. Like, people just he couldn't wrap his mind around it. But yeah, that's base running 101. I like I said, I learned that in Little League. Balls in the air, you are back, less than 2 outs, you are back on the base. I don't care if it's a line drive. I don't care if it's a fly ball. You are back on third base. Because if it falls in, you're walking home. If it bloops in, you're walking home. Right? If he catches it, you're safe or you tag up. Right? That's it. If you're halfway and then they make a diving catch, you're toast. You can't score on that. So just absolutely terrible.
Yeah. But the whole play makes no sense. He should have been tagging up. He should have been running home as it was caught. It shouldn't have mattered if it was caught or not to Teoscar because what he does is the same.
Yep.
It's just mind-blowing.
This is the thing that really irks me, Mike, is that nobody understands that, right? Because if I'm an outfielder, what's preventing me from a guy less than 2 outs on third base as a left fielder? I catch it, and then I just go like this all the way back into the infield so he can't score, right? That's what that rule prevents. As soon as it makes contact with my glove, the tag play is off. That's it.
Yep.
People can't understand that, but, luckily, our followers are very educated and know that. Right, fellas?
Yep. Yeah, and Captain's 100% right. Hernandez should have been able to just walk home. Like, that should have been the easiest run scored ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. But, all right. So, game 1, Dodgers win. Game 2, utter dominance.
I don't want to miss this comment from Ryan. Brewers hitting 144 in the series. Honor Uke and his storied career. Jeez,
that's Ryan. Awesome.
I've been stared at that comment for the last few minutes. Like,
that is awesome.
That is beautiful.
That is awesome. That's poetry right there. That's awesome.
Sorry.
So Yamamoto gives a leadoff homer to Jackson Chourio, and then that's it. No. That's it. Done. Yamamoto, complete game. Absolutely mowed down the Brewers. Dodgers win game 2. They travel across country, and we got game 3. It wasn't Mizorowski to start, but he pretty much took the bulk of the innings. Looked pretty good. He's looked pretty good in the postseason. They haven't been able to really touch Mizorowski that much. And just another dominating performance out of a Dodgers pitcher. Glasnow goes out, 1 run. And the Dodgers win. Dodgers win 3-1, and they're up 3-0 in the series. You posted this on the story, Harrison, and it blew my mind, but in the same time didn't. Christian Yelich, no postseason RBI since 2018. And the Brewers have pretty much been there every single year since then.
Yeah, most seasons.
That's a wild stat.
It is. And in his defense, he missed a couple of those postseason runs because he was out hurt, but he's played enough postseason games over the last 7 years that he should have had an RBI by now. Nothing.
Right. Even by accident.
Yeah, exactly. Like just a sac fly or something, or a bases loaded walk. But his postseason numbers are pretty dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of now makes sense.
Yeah. Ryan, Harrison and I were talking about this right before
Yep.
we came on. Is the Brewers are a high contact team, and they are not playing Brewers baseball. They're chasing balls out of the zone. They're not making contact with those pitches because, like you said, they're 8 to 10 inches out of the zone, up out of the strike zone, down in the dirt, outside. They're flailing at everything. They're pressing to try to make something happen. They're not letting the game come to them. Um, it's tough to
Yeah.
see because I thought the Brewers going in, the brand of baseball they played would play in their favor.
Yep. I
Because
thought
they,
this was a terrible matchup for the Dodgers because of that.
yeah, but the Dodgers are fully healthy, and that is scary. That's really all I have to say is they have everybody back. They have the questions in the bullpen figured out because all their starters are going 6 innings, and then you just got Trinan and Sasaki to lock it down. You don't even have to go to anybody else. And Alex Vesia there for a backup. Those three, you're just going to ride those three all postseason. And why not? No one's touching them.
Yep.
So,
well, and with the Brewers, like, so look at Yamamoto's start. Yamamoto went 9 innings, struck out 7 guys. He got so many weak ground balls because he just basically said, "Okay, you guys want to swing the bat? Here, you're going to hit my pitch in the zone where I want to throw it, but I'll let you hit it."
yeah,
And they were chasing 1-0 splits and 1-0 off speed pitches and you know 0-1 fastballs down in the bottom corner. He was just in total control. Here it is, hit it. You'll just hit the pitch I want you to hit. But he was also able to get them in bad counts because, to Ryan's point, they would chase a pitch off the plate, and he'd show them something off the plate. They'd chase it. Great. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to throw you the pitch that I want to throw you.
yeah.
And he absolutely just fed them exactly what they needed, and they just made a ton of weak contact. It's just nothing exciting.
Mike, this is the only hope that you could have to slow the Dodgers down is that they get cooled off with a break. Because they're rolling right now, and I don't think there's a team left that can beat them. I'm
repeat
sorry.
feels inevitable at this point.
Yeah. And got to assume they're guest hitting, Ryan, 1,000%. The Brewers have no idea what's coming. I think the Dodgers game plan, Mark Pryor has those matchups mapped out, and the pitchers are executing them. They're pitching them backwards. Brewers don't know their ass from their elbow right now. They don't know what pitch is coming and what count. Like, they are all over the place. They look lost at the plate. Lost.
This is the Brewers team we expect to see in the playoffs. We just thought we were going to see it last round.
Yeah.
And last round they had, I think the familiarity with the Cubs helps. You're playing an interdivision team. You've seen plenty, but this was a team I thought we'd see in the first round. They look overmatched and lost. And now they're going against everything they did all season because they're pressing and trying to make something happen. They're trying to win the game with one swing of the bat, and the Dodgers pitchers are absolutely doing whatever they want with them because they've set them up perfectly.
Yeah, well, I mean, and let's be honest. The Dodgers went from the 15th best pitching staff in mid-September to the number 1 best pitching staff in October when everybody came back. Right? I know they all came back before that, so don't jump on me, but I mean, Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani. I'm sorry. You're not getting by those guys. You aren't. Maybe one of them you can touch up. You're not going to beat them. They're too good.
No, and again, you look other than I think Mookie today, the guys that have beaten you, it was Teoscar in game 1. I mean, it has not been the big dogs so much. It's been the guys on the edge. And we said that going in, you cannot, if you're going to get through the big guys at the front of that order, you cannot let the guys in the second half of that order beat you. And in game 1 they did. In game 2 they got hurt by them. And they continue, as we said, they've played exactly into everything we said they can't do. You got to play the contact game, stay patient. They're not. They're flailing. You can't let the guys at the bottom of the order beat you. They're letting them beat them. I mean, Shohei Ohtani, aside from today, has been a complete ghost in the playoffs. He's done less than nothing.
Right.
And yet Teoscar Hernandez is just racking up the RBIs. It's brutal.
And every time I look up, Kike's got 2 more postseason hits. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
get it with that guy. It's crazy.
Max Muncy's now got the most home runs in Dodgers postseason history. Like,
Yep.
they just keep doing it.
And he should have done it in game 1 against the Brewers, but Sal
Yeah, no
Frelick
kidding.
brought it back a little bit. Yeah, that's what 600 billion deferred will do to a ball club, and you're not wrong. Not wrong. Not wrong. Danny says once they sweep the Brewers tomorrow, Dodgers will have a week to rest. World Series starts next Friday. And
It's a long break.
that is a very long break. And we've seen teams struggle with a break like that. Baseball is a game of routines, right? And you break that routine in any part of the season, sometimes it's hard to get back on the horse. Now, I don't think the Dodgers have an issue with that personally. But man, oh man, I don't know. I don't think anyone's starting this or stopping this runaway train right now. I think it's the Dodgers World Series to have. They have to absolutely implode to lose this World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a repeat is inevitable at this point.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who's going to be there to get beaten by them in the end.
Mm-hmm. Did they sandbag to save innings on the 16 arms they have? And there's something to say about that, right? They had a lot of arms to get them through the season, knowing these guys have injury histories, right?
Yep.
Snell injury histories, and when he's healthy, what does he go out and do? Oh, he just wins the Cy Young. But if you keep his innings count there, he's going to be there at the postseason. Same thing with Glass now. Maybe they put him on the shelf so he was ready to go in the postseason because he was out last year, right?
Most of it.
Yeah. So yeah, Tommy Edmonds, another big part of that too, for sure.
I mean, there is something to be said for, these guys. There's no like super young guys in this group. A lot of these guys, I mean, Yamamoto's on the young side, but most of these guys are, they're 30, a little over, they're entering the second half of their career. They understand the game. I just need to get in the playoffs and then I'll give you everything I got, but I just got to get there. And I think that's a lot of what this team did. It was basically, let's get there and let's come in there fully charged.
Yep.
Because really October is the only month that matters on the calendar.
Right.
That's
it. Captain, I'm with you here to an extent. Like, I still can't get behind the opener. Miz should have just started. And I get it. Mizorowski's been a bright spot for the Brewers. You started Ashby. He's a lefty because you got Shohei and Freeman in the top 3. Right. So that's really your only hope is like Ashby gets those guys out without anybody hurting you. I mean, it didn't happen, but that's your hope. But I'm with you. You have a guy that's throwing 105 and has been really good in the postseason for you. Why not just start him? I don't know. I get it. I don't get it.
No, it's like the rec league or like the men's league softball where like you show up in the playoffs and all of a sudden the team you're playing has got like 3 new people on it you haven't seen all year that are like studs.
Yeah.
That have only shown up to play in the playoffs because they weren't going to come to the regular season games because why the hell would they do that?
Right.
I feel like it's one of those rec leagues where like you just bring the ringers out when it really matters. Because that's effectively what they've done. I mean, all of a sudden, Roki Sasaki's back and he looks great, and Glasnow's back and he looks great, and Snell's back and he looks great, and Ohtani's back in the rotation. And it's like, what the hell? Where'd these guys all come from?
Yeah. Yeah. Over managing. And we've talked about that numerous times on here is the analytics and the sabermetrics and all of the geek stats, if you will, that has made its way into the game has made the feel for what a playoff game should look like for a manager. So instead of them feeling out the situation, they're going by stats that are written on a piece of paper. And I don't like it. I don't like that. It seems to me that these managers don't have feel for the game. Now, it must be nice for Dave Roberts to actually just sit down in the dugout and take a few games off because he doesn't have to manage this team. It manages itself.
Holy cow, no.
They were talking about it, I think, on the broadcast. They're like, he's the only manager I've seen actually sit on the bench because he doesn't have to do anything.
Dave Roberts is like the greeter at Walmart. He just like waves as they walk in the door and says good morning,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he just sits there and watches the game and he goes home.
It's
It's like
crazy.
he,
Now,
he doesn't have to do anything.
a few years ago, we were saying that we weren't fans of him as a manager because it seemed like the front office was pulling all the strings and that he was going strictly by the sabermetrics. Last year, we saw him actually have feel for the game. I gained or he gained a lot of respect of mine. If it even matters to him, I doubt it does.
I'm pretty sure it
But
does. I mean, I'm pretty sure he thinks highly of Nick Arno.
I mean, true. But I gained a lot of respect for him because last World Series and postseason, he actually managed by feel. Yes, he took into account the sabermetrics, but then he's like, this guy's rolling right now. I'm not going to take him out. Like, I'm going to keep him in. Or, he's like, I should go to this bullpen arm, but this guy's rolling. I'm going to go to him instead. So I gained a lot of respect for him there. But yeah, it does come down to this. A trained chimp could manage LA at this point.
I mean, yeah,
They're
this team at full speed, you just got
crazy.
to fill out a lineup card and hand it to the umpire and just get out of the way.
Yeah, you might not even have to do that. You might not even have to fill out a lineup card.
I mean, yeah, look, they probably just write their names in. Guys,
Yeah.
just, what do you want to do today? Just tell me.
Yeah. So absolutely.
But I do think you're right. I think last year Dave Roberts actually managed his way to the World Series and was able to kind of patchwork that team together that was kind of in that weird banged up state that had some serious holes. This team, now that they're all healthy, I mean, it's like, come on. This is like us stacking our team on a video game and just like simming the season to see what happens.
Yep. Yeah, and Brandon, great point. Dave Roberts pitcher
true.
threw a complete game in the postseason. He's finally just sitting back. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like the last 2 years, we've seen Dave Roberts manage by feel, and I can respect that. Again, I don't know how many decisions really have to be made at this point with the entire Dodgers roster that we were sitting here on day one of 162 saying they're going to win 120 games. This is the team we were expecting to see.
Yep.
This team wins 120 games if they're fully healthy all year.
Yep.
Hands down.
Yeah. We had to wait till October to actually see this team at its peak.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Anything else before we kind of move on from this series at all? I think the Dodgers end it tomorrow. It's over.
No, I mean after game one, I was like, oh yeah, this one's going to be short. I mean, the Brewers just look overwhelmed, overmatched, and they're doing what we expected them to do just a round later. So to me, this series is over. I repeat, for the Dodgers feels inevitable. I really hate it, but it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah, Roberts is the anti-Kevin Cash. I have that memory burned into my head. There's 2 manager moments that are burned in my head. It's Grady Little leaving Pedro in. It's Kevin Cash going to get Blake Snell when he was absolutely dealing because he gave up his second hit of the game in the 6th inning. Like, you have got to be kidding me. Blake Snell had no hit stuff that night. No hit stuff. Because the 2 hits he gave up were like broken bat bleeders. And he goes out and gets him. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Man.
Ryan, funeral for the crew, 7:00 tomorrow night.
Be there. Yeah, we're with you for sure. Hear me out. If they consistently sandbag during the regular season, their career numbers take a dip. Will it hurt any of their Hall of Fame consideration? Playoff success notwithstanding. No. I mean, I don't think so. All year we've been talking about the Dodgers have 4 Hall of Famers at the top of their lineup. And 3 in the rotation.
And really, the sandbagging is more the starting pitchers. And let's be honest, like Glasnow's not a Hall of Famer.
No.
He pitches part-time. I mean, he works remote part-time, I should say. But
yeah.
I mean, the Hall of Famers in this group, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, those guys are out there pretty much every day. It's the pitchers that I think they sandbag and manage their innings, and none of them are going to be Hall of Famers anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, Snell, not a Hall of Famer. Glasnow, not a Hall of Famer. Yamamoto, who knows? Maybe he could be. He's still on the younger side, but I think they're managing him more so just because they realize what they got. And I think they'd rather win World Series rings than, 5 more regular season games.
If Milwaukee somehow comes back and wins this series, it will be more incredible than 2004 Red Sox coming back against the New York Yankees. Change my mind. But what if I agree with you? do I still have to try to change your mind? I think it would. I mean, yes, you have the history behind the Red Sox and the Yankees just absolutely beating up the little brother year after year after year, 100 years of abuse, all of that stuff, right? I get it. But that Red Sox team was also, I think, a lot more seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had better overall talent. And I think they had a little bit more chemistry. Now, I think the Brewers do have great team chemistry. Again, not really in the clubhouse, obviously, so don't know the feel for it. Red Sox had something cooking for real that year. But I think overall, from a talent standpoint, Red Sox were deeper. They had more potential. So if the Brewers ever came back, I think it is better than the 04. I don't think it's close, really.
I mean, I think Red Sox Yankees will always take it because of the rivalry and the fact the Red Sox hadn't won in 86 years, and the fact that they've been beaten up on by the Yankees for the better part of the last 25 years. They were constantly little brother. They were good, but they couldn't get over the hump of the Yankees. The Brewers and Dodgers have no history. It's just a series. Red Sox Yankees had just decades of history and animosity, and the rivalry was so big. And the Red Sox were year after year just getting basically held underwater by the Yankees. I don't think this would be bigger than that. I think the 2004 comeback would still be the biggest ever, but this would be up there. But there's no connection between the teams that makes this exciting. It'd be like, wow, that's amazing the Brewers came back, but like, okay, like they beat the Dodgers.
I mean, I get that. I get the weight of the rivalry, outweighs it a lot. I'm just thinking from a talent standpoint, this would be a more remarkable comeback because I think the teams are further apart talent-wise than Red Sox and Yankees were, right? I think it's Dodgers and Brewers, and then Yankees and Red Sox were kind of like right here.
Yeah, but you're downplaying a team that had the best record in baseball. I mean, the Brewers were no
I am downplaying
chumps.
them. You are correct.
Yeah, I mean,
I am downplaying it.
The Brewers were no chumps, but they were not an established veteran team like the Red Sox had built. So yeah, I mean, it feels like David versus Goliath to a certain extent, although it really isn't based on how they performed. It's just not a good matchup.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Brandon asks, Dodgers win it all this year and Shohei retires. He's like, you know what? I got 2 World Series rings. I'm done. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No. Not yet.
Come on. Yes, he is.
What makes him a Hall of Famer? Show me a single stat that gets him qualified for the Hall of Fame. He ain't got one.
How about 85 posts a day on the MLB Facebook page?
Well, I mean, if you're going based on vanity metrics and social media followers, then yes, he's a Hall of Famer.
His stats might not be there. Shohei Ohtani's a Hall of Famer. Listen, I'm with you guys. I don't particularly care for the guy, but I can respect the player he is. He is the first player since Babe Ruth to do both and do both to this capacity. There's no way you can keep him out of the Hall of Fame if he retires next year. Zero chance. Zero chance. I don't care what his career numbers are. There's zero chance that they keep him out of the Hall of Fame as the best two-way player possibly of all time. And I don't think you can change my mind. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's crazy to me that a guy with 280 career home runs and 60 career pitching wins is a Hall of Famer.
But who else has done that? Who else has done that?
Nobody. But he's
exactly.
He doesn't qualify. Even if you add them together, that he still got nothing that makes a Hall of Fame case.
Does he have 10 years of service time?
8.
Oh, so then no, he wouldn't. Never mind. Scratch that.
Jesus. I mean, he's been an absolute like generational talent. But if he walked away today, there's nothing about his career that screams Hall of Fame. Like he's done some cool stuff.
Where's that damn unfollow button? Um,
I'm going to be interviewing co-hosts next week.
yeah,
So
yeah. Sorry, guys, but I mean, like, listen, I don't like that take either. But I don't see a world where baseball leaves him out,
no,
right?
in
Unless
five
it's
years,
this.
yeah, in 5 years, yeah, okay. But this is a guy who's a career 282 hitter, 280 home runs, 669 RBIs, 165 stolen bases, and as a pitcher, he's where'd it go? As a pitcher, he's 39-20. Okay, well, great. He's 39-20 with an ERA of 3. He's made 100 career appearances on the mound. Like, whoop-de-doo.
He's the first 50-50 guy in MLB
Okay.
history.
I just he had so it's a great season. I mean, we bat names around all the time. That guy was so good for 5 years. That's what Shohei is. He's been so good for 5 years.
For me, it's gentleman's club. It's gentleman's club. Hall of Fame has always been gentleman's club. It's not about the stats. Omar Vizquel would be in. A whole bunch of other guys would be in, right? If Shohei gets to the 10-year minimum that you need to get into the Hall of Fame and retires, he's in. I don't care what the career numbers are. He is the best two-way player of all time. I hate it, but he's in.
He's better than Babe Ruth. You're going to take him over Babe Ruth? No shot.
Listen, I put out that post because I was curious, and I'm gonna wonder what people say in the comments now.
There's only a 430 home run gap.
Okay, Babe Ruth pitching against Shohei Ohtani, who wins?
I don't know.
Shohei Ohtani pitching against Babe Ruth, who wins?
I don't know because you're talking about different eras where the games were not even close to the same.
No, you got to pick one.
I mean, I don't know.
Shohei blows Babe Ruth out of the water. Babe Ruth doesn't touch Shohei Ohtani. 102 with an 88-mile-an-hour splitter. There's no way.
But that wasn't how the game was played when Babe Ruth played. Yeah, you're measuring apples and donuts right now. Like you can't. This is why you can't make those comparisons.
What kind of
if Babe Ruth stepped into baseball today as the Babe Ruth from the early 1900s, of course he'd get smoked. But Babe Ruth also wouldn't have been able to train. He wouldn't have had the same equipment, the same prep, the same, like nothing's the same. These guys, half the guys in baseball were working jobs back in his era. Shohei Ohtani does nothing but play baseball and make $1 bajillion.
I get it. I mean, totally get your thoughts.
If you're going to knock Babe Ruth off the Mount Rushmore of baseball for Shohei Ohtani, you need a better case than a guy that's got 39 career wins and 280 home runs. You just can't. You can't. Okay. He's not there yet.
Okay,
John, fair. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. La, 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 la. I can't get there yet. In 5 years, if he continues doing what he's doing, sure.
Man,
but way too soon.
You know how I feel about Shohei. Like, and I'm just taking that side of the argument for the sake of taking it, because I think it is kind of a fun question to talk about, because his popularity alone, I think, gets him in. He hits that 10-year mark, he's in. We've never, ever seen a player like this.
Babe Ruth is still considered the best player in baseball history 100 years later.
I get it, but he did them separately.
It's been 100 freaking years.
He did them separately. Ohtani's doing these at the same time. There's no way.
He didn't do them separately.
Babe Ruth pitched and then switched over to his hitting and pitching, only crossed over a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, Captain's trying to get us off. Wait, why is he retiring?
Because he wants to spend more time in the casino with Ipe.
Okay, then he's out.
There's no world in which you'll ever convince me that Shohei Ohtani today is a Hall of Famer. I don't care about his influence, his followers. You can miss me with all of that.
Okay, and that's fair. I can get behind that.
But I mean, so take his name off the stats. So you don't even know it's Shohei. People kind of go, oh yeah, look at that, pretty cool. 39 pitching wins and 280 home runs, pretty good career. Nobody's putting that in the Hall of Fame.
Fair. I guess. Yeah.
I can't imagine that writers would pass up on, players like Andrew Jones and say, oh yeah, we're putting Shohei in first ballot. Let's go.
Okay. I mean, and I get that. It's fair. And Ryan, like, yeah, I'm glad the vibe in this room is not yet. And I think it's like, really, that's what I think. Like, it is not yet. But I did like kind of taking the enemy side of the coin for a change. I usually don't. So,
I mean, and I'll be curious too how long Shohei continues to pitch.
that
Like,
I
at what
don't
point
know.
do they just say it's not worth doing it anymore?
We have talked about that numerous times. Like, when does he get converted to a closer, or like you said, just not at all anymore? Period. End of story.
I mean, he made 10 appearances in 18. He missed all of 19. He made 2 appearances in 20. He made 23 appearances in 21, 28 in 22, 23 in 23. He missed all of 24 and made 14 this year. I mean, two Tommy Johns. At what point do you just say it's not worth it? And a very effective pitcher, but he's not like he's not like the greatest guy out there. He's pretty good. I mean, he's not even the ace of his own staff. I mean,
yeah, the vibe in here was, ooh, mom and dad are fighting. No, that was fun. Harrison and I don't really get into a lot of debates like that. That was kind of fun. I like that.
Well, you usually don't make too many ridiculous comments on the show, so I don't usually have to debate you much.
I mean, fair. So, and John, so Harrison, you're saying that Judge wouldn't get in if he retires now because his stats aren't there?
No. I mean, what are you going to hang your hat on with Aaron Judge? Like,
MVPs?
What makes Aaron Judge a Hall of Famer?
The MVPs don't do it for you? The Gold Glove?
No, he's got
singular
2 MVPs and a Rookie of the Year. So do a lot of guys that are in the Hall of very good. I mean, Aaron Judge retires right now with 368 career home runs and no World Series rings. I mean, no, I mean, he's Andrew Jones. Okay. Who's also not in the Hall of Fame right now.
But he will be.
Yeah. But I mean, no, Aaron Judge, if he walked away right now, is not a Hall of Famer either.
Yeah. Captain's
Gavin doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a child of divorce.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We might have to bring this back up in the off season because that was a fun one to dive into.
Unpopular opinion. I also believe that if Trout retires today, he's not a Hall of Famer either.
We got to 400 homers.
He just made it. Yep.
Okay. Let's jot that down in our notes for something to discuss at a later time because
we'll kick these around the off season.
Yeah, we still got some stuff to cover here. So, all right. Well, since we're on the debate train, here we go. Cal Raleigh, despite zero pass balls in 2025, the reigning Platinum Glove winner is not a Gold Glove finalist. What? How are you not a finalist at a catching position where you have zero pass balls? Zero. Him and Dylan Dingler are the only two with no pass balls.
Yeah. So Cal Raleigh caught the most innings, caught the most pitches, and had zero pass balls. He was in the top 5 of pretty much everything else, and doesn't make the final cut. And granted, the guys he lost to in the final round are not slouches. They are exceptionally good catchers. But it's one of those things like unless Cal Raleigh goes out and stinks it up the year after winning a Platinum Glove, you almost have to put him back in as a finalist just because he was just there. I mean, it's hard because it is a stacked group. But wow.
So defensively alone, Mike, I'm probably taking Dylan Dingler. I don't know if you've seen this kid work behind the plate. He's
incredible.
incredible to watch. It is a masterpiece back there. And how he handles Scooble and all those guys, like he blocks everything, everything. I don't think I've seen him backhand or backpick a single thing. Everything is in front. It's crazy.
Yep. And then Alejandro Kirk is the best framing catcher in all of baseball. I mean, the guy steals more calls than anybody. I
Well,
think, unfortunately, the guy that would have to get replaced is our boy from Boston, Narvaez, who
yeah.
was good, but I mean, he's not Cal Raleigh good. Let's get serious.
Yeah, and he was hosing people out. I think that's the only reason he was in there was because he had the caught stealing percentage.
Yep.
But Kirk's stature helps him tremendously, right?
The
The
fact that he's
guy,
like 2'9".
yeah, when he's standing up, he looks like he's sitting down. So like
He's a
it's
weeble.
yeah, it's crazy. Scherzer might kill Schneider for taking him out right now.
He for sure will. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, for Fluharty again, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to get to the point where these awards mean nothing to me. How they're voted on, who votes on them, like it's kind of almost gotten to a joke. And maybe it's been like this since baseball's existed. I don't know. And maybe just because we're following it more closely, it seems more of a joke. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on how they choose who's a Gold Glove finalist or not?
I mean, I don't. I wish I understood how they chose it, because some of the guys that they've chosen, I mean, and some of the guys that have won it in the past, we've just looked at and gone, really?
Yeah.
Like, not even close to the best defensive player at that position. But Carl, jeez. Oh man.
I can't.
Oh, I got to read this one. So,
What?
Carl, fun fact: Alejandro Kirk was in the R2D2 costume, not Kenny Baker.
That's brutal.
We had a group chat going with the Gees and Forrest last night, and I sent the message of Alejandro Kirk's a Weeble, and I sent a picture of like the old Weeble toys, which he is. I mean, the dude, he's built different, as the kids say. But wow.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how they picked these finalists, to be honest, because like you look at the stats, they're all over the place and what they seem to value. But what I will say is that when things like this happen, I think it just begins to devalue the award, because people we sit there and go, really? Like, how do you come up with that? So now you look at now in your mind, the Gold Glove winner that year, like, meh, it doesn't matter. And I think you begin to devalue the award. And I saw a comment earlier today, and I wish I could remember who it was. It wasn't Jeff Passam. It was one of the writers who basically said, like, this doesn't call into question Cal Raleigh. It calls into question the award.
Right.
Like, what the hell is the criteria? Like, how are you picking these guys and leaving some of these guys out? Because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, normally the tiebreaker is offense. Cal seems to have that too. I would
I
say
mean, he's
just
hit a little bit this year. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't know how he's left off. I mean, one of two catchers to have no pass balls. I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah, and he's losing out to guys that were like better framers or threw out more base runners, but like that's a factor of your pitchers too. Like throwing out base
Right.
runners, I mean, I think of all the years that poor Jason Varitek looked like a schmuck back there because he couldn't throw anybody out, but he had Derek Lowe with the high leg kick with every runner on base, and like nobody was fast to the plate for that poor guy.
Right.
They just gave up on the running game. That's a lot of that you can't control.
Yeah. No, I agree. Brandon, I want to damn, you guys are harsh tonight. What the heck did you guys eat or drink? Nothing. I don't know. Just kind of
all that Dodgers talk pissed me off.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. For sure.
Oh, this is a good one, Carl. We'll get into the snubs probably next week, but yeah, Dansby Swanson, that was a tough one. There's probably 3 or 4 pretty good snubs on this Gold Glove list that had me scratching my head. Dansby's a great one. Cal Raleigh's a good one. There's a couple more that I think got got a little bit overlooked. And granted, it also depends on what you value as more important.
Yeah.
But it's not good.
You would think the league would jump at supporting the new star with as many awards as possible. Now, don't get us started with promoting the league, Ryan. Again, we'll be off on another tangent here, but
who, who could be fast with Bronson Arroyo on the mound?
yeah,
There's nobody slower to home plate than that dude. Tim Wakefield,
Oh.
good luck throwing guys out with Wakefield on the mound.
Dice K.
Yeah, Doug Mirabelli never stood a chance to throw anybody out.
No, absolutely not. But all right, well then, before we get to trivia, we are doing a giveaway, and this is going to be absolutely incredible. So every review that you guys leave on Facebook, Spotify, or Apple Podcast through October 22nd earns you an entry for free merch, and we will let you pick the item. So you can go on the store, tell you what you have, and you guys get to pick. So if you leave a review on Facebook, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, you get 3 entries for this giveaway. You don't have to pay anything. Just leave us a review. That's it. Just leave a review. 5 stars only, please. But anyway,
obviously, like anybody would give us anything but 5. Although after tonight, we might have lost some stars. I don't know.
Yeah, that's yeah. Superstar versus half a star. That's the longest yard quote, but yeah. So please do that. It really helps us get pushed out to the metaverse, if you will. So every review really helps. So please go on there, give us a good review. And when you do October 22nd, we'll cut it off. We'll put all the names in the hat. We'll draw one. We'll let you know, and then you can choose exactly. Could use a hoodie. Captain's already got the T-shirt. He needs a hoodie. So.
And yes, John,
it does.
We're going to count reviews already left to make sure those of you that already have done such a nice thing for us don't get left out.
4.5 is the best I can give you today. That's fair, Mike. I'll take 4.5. That's
I mean, sure.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Love it.
So yeah, really appreciate a 1 star. Thanks, Carl.
Wow, love Carl. Wait, didn't you start this, Carl? Who started this?
Oh man.
So I'll tell you what. So you can leave me a 5-star review, and make sure you leave Nick a 1-star review for his take on Shohei.
Yeah, leave it on my personal page, please, just so it doesn't affect the podcast.
Oh man. Although man. I did get a 1-star review from on our page from that guy that thought my take on Derek Jeter was bad.
So, yeah, that was hilarious. And I love somebody. One of our other followers is like, "What kind of review is this?"
Yeah, what kind of stupid are you?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But seriously, guys, like we really appreciate your support. We say it every single episode, and I don't think you guys understand how much we really do. So this is a way for kind of us to give back to you while helping us out. So please check that out. Please do it. All right, Harrison.
Yeah, and keep your eyes out. We're going to do more things like this too, just to make it fun.
Okay. So if you've been keeping track of our page, I have been doing these types of trivias a little bit different, where I say which pitcher has struck these 4 batters out the most. I leave the silhouette, and you have to tell me who the silhouette is. Now, I did kind of theme these because the first 4, I'll give you a hint before we dive in, are current players on the current playoff teams that are left. So I'll give you that hint. And then the next 4 after that are former players on the 4 teams that are left. So here we go with the first one. Who hit the most career home runs of his career off these pitchers so far? Kyle Hendricks with 3, Max Scherzer with 3, Garrett Cole with 3, Dakota Hudson with 3.
So a lefty who beats up on righties. I mean, Marlins Brewers, I feel like there's only one guy
Yeah,
that this could be. I'm going to let Chad answer it. I'll wait a minute, but I'm pretty sure there's only one guy who fits that mold of Marlins to Brewers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Christian Yelich for sure. I started a little bit easy. I just wanted to you guys to get
Oh, of
into the
course,
flow
because
of
I
it.
knew it was easy. It
Well, I
just keep
mean,
just you just want to fight tonight, huh?
sort of,
Jeez.
kind of. But like you said, like Marlins and Brewers is kind
Yeah,
of a dead giveaway. So,
that's a tough one because
but I
there's not very many guys.
yeah. So now we have the idea of how it will work. So here we
All
go.
right.
Here's the next one. What player has recorded the most base hit? Well, let me start again. What player has recorded the most base hits off these pitchers in his career so far? Cal Quantrill, 5. Kyle Freeland, 4. Paul Scanes, 4. Logan Webb, 4.
So only played for the Dodgers. That's not a lot of hits. So it's got to be somebody newer. Oh, I know who this is.
Do you?
I do.
Yes, sir. You are
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. I was like, it's not a lot of hits. It's got to be somebody young.
Mhm. And the Paul Scanes one too. Like Scanes
Oh
hasn't
yeah, right.
been in a lot. Not Will Smith. Those are great guesses. Not Will
Mm.
Smith. Not Muncie. That's a good
I,
guess, Mike.
at first, I'm looking at it going, man, is that Muncie? But I feel like Muncie would have some guys. He's got a lot more hits than that off of in all the years he's played.
Yeah, not Max Muncie. Think newer or more recent than both of those guys.
Had a
Actually
huge
had a
season.
yeah, I was gonna say had a breakout year this year for sure. It is Pajes. Yes. Yes. Nice job. Andy
Andy
Pages.
Pages. Yep.
Yep.
Andy
Yep.
Yellow
Good.
Pages.
Yep. Nice job. Pajes is correct. All right. Here is the next one. What player has recorded the most base hits off these pitchers in his career so far? Garrett Cole, 9. Nathan Eovaldi, 7. Lucas Giolito, 6. Dean Kremer, 6.
I would know that stature anywhere.
It's funny how much we talked about him tonight.
I know,
Yeah.
considering we just like made fun of it.
It's bad.
Um,
You guys are killing it tonight, man. Yes, it is R2D2 for sure.
Jeez. I should have figured that was going to come back around.
Oh my god, yes.
Wow.
Whew. Yeah, not Vlad. It is Alejandro Kirk for sure, or AKA R2D2. Oh
Happened called
my
short
god,
round.
that's funny.
Holy
Oh my
cow.
dude. This is why I love you guys, man. That's incredible. That
He's
just
built different.
oh my god, that was
Jeez.
awesome. All right. Next one. What player has recorded the most base hits off these pitchers in his career so far? Taylor Hearn, 9. Framber Valdez, 8. Justin Verlander, 8. Reed Detmers, 8.
Only played for the Mariners?
He does have another team on there, but I
Okay.
would say he is known for the Mariners. Because you probably don't remember him much on his first ball club, which
Gotcha.
was
Okay.
the Phillies.
Oh. Yeah, I'm with Carl. I was thinking maybe Polanco, but
It is
that
not Polanco. It is JP Crawford, Ryan. Nice job.
yeah.
It is
I was like
JP
working down their
Crawford.
lineup thinking, who is that?
Yeah, so he was in Philly in 2017, 2018, and has been with Seattle since.
Got it.
So, yes, JP Crawford. Nice job. Yeah, Carter got it too. Nice job, fellas. All right. Next one. Which pitcher struck out these batters the most in his career? Lance Berkman, 24, Corey Patterson, 19, Jim Edmonds, 18.
Mm. Who was the big righty they had there for a while?
Now, Corey Patterson's in an Orioles jersey, but he probably struck them out when he was with the Cubs.
Oh, Carl. Yeah, you're right.
It is Ben Sheets
Carl's got it.
for sure. Yeah. So
I was like, why
Berkman,
can't I think of his name?
he probably got Berkman when he was with the Cardinals. He got Patterson when he was with the Cubs, and then Jim Edmonds. So I tried to get a little tricky with the jerseys, but I guess it wasn't too tricky. But yes, Ben Sheets, good. Carl got it. John Carter got it. Mike Reed got it. Nice job, fellas. Ben Sheets is correct, and Ryan got it as well. Nice job. All right. Next one. Which pitcher surrendered the most base hits to these four batters? Buster Posey, 9. Hunter Pence, 7. Gerardo Parra, 6. And Paul Goldschmidt, 6. Yep.
The silhouette did it for me. I was like, immediately recognized it.
Yeah, it's funny how some of the silhouettes you're just like, bang, got them. And then others, it takes you a minute.
I always remember that, like the high reach. He had always the glove hand high, and then he reached back as far as he could.
Yep. And technically, I probably should have put so far on this one.
I mean, true. He's not done yet.
Right.
Well, I mean, after this season, it doesn't seem like he was done.
It's not only Dodgers. I didn't have time.
Mostly Dodgers.
It's mostly Dodgers. He's known for the Dodgers. And not Kershaw, not Gagne.
Big righty. Gagne's a good guess. Timeline is.
I'll go.
Yeah, timeline's off.
Not low. I'll give you this. Dodgers, Braves, Red Sox, Angels. Yeah, Derek Lowe's a good guess for both you, Captain and you, Hanky, but it's not low.
Derek Lowe's a little bit more compact, but
and think about
similar features.
Think about Sheets' numbers, and then think about this guy's numbers and how they differ. Right? Sheets is definitely going to have more because, well, just because. But I think this guy's actually pitched more seasons. Oh, maybe this one is tougher than I thought.
Probably a Hall of Famer.
Nope, not Alex Wood. He'd be all like janky out to the side. His pitching motion gets me every single time I watch him pitch. I don't know how he just doesn't break.
This guy was coming out of the bullpen.
Yep. Yep. Dodgers, Braves, Red Sox, Angels, I believe, is the career path. He didn't. It is Kenley. Nice job, Mike. Yeah, Kenley Jansen for sure. Nice job, Mike Reed. Got it. All right. Here we go. We got two more for you. Which pitcher surrendered the most home runs to these four batters? Cecil Fielder with 8, Mo Vaughn with 5, Greg Vaughn with 4, Dean Palmer with 4.
So we're talking 90s, 80s, 90s.
Uh-huh.
So like Jimmy Key was a lefty. Guzman was a little more all over the place. Oh, Stottlemyre was a good guess.
That's a good guess. It's not Stottlemyre. It's not Jimmy Key.
No, that time doesn't work out. Oh, I know who this is.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. It is Henkin. Nice job, John Carter. Pat Henkin is correct. Nice work. Yes. Yeah, and I think that's what you were going for too, Carl. Is Henkin, but good old autocorrect got you. Yeah, for sure.
He was a heathen.
And then yeah, he was a heathen. He was for a while, man. He was pretty dang good. But
He was.
yeah, nice. Yeah, remember we're pretty generous on the autocorrect, fellas. So we got you. All right. And the last one, probably my favorite one of the night, but here we go. Which pitcher surrendered the most hits to these 4 batters? Harold Baines, 15. Kent Herbeck, 13. Fred McGriff, 12. Ruben Sierra, 12. This guy could also have 2 other teams next to his silhouette as well.
So another guy who is kind of mid 90s to early 2000s. Yeah, that is definitely not Moyer, but it's a great guess.
Yep. Not Eric Hansen.
All the Moyer guesses come rolling in.
Yep. He's had 2 stints with Seattle. He started in Seattle and ended in Seattle in 98, 85 to 98.
Oh, 98. Okay. So he's a little bit earlier.
Yep.
So he was facing these guys in the earlier parts of their career.
Aaron Seeley, good guess.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
This might give it away, but Giants and Rockies. Not Bosio. That's another great guess. Not Chris Bosio.
Yes, Seeley's a good guess. Bosio's a good guess.
Yes, Carl. It is Billy Swift.
Oh,
it is Billy Swift. So this is a favorite of ours, or mine at least, because he is a Mainer. He is a fellow Mainer, South Portland, Maine. He was the pride of Maine for a long time. Him and Mike Bordick kind of came out together. It was a big deal for the state of Maine. So
I should have made the connection when you said the Rockies.
Yep, Billy Swift, good. Yep, Carter got him too. Nice job. So pretty awesome. So that's all we had for that. So
those are fun.
All right, fellas. We hit 20,000 followers this week. It was absolutely nuts. It has been a whirlwind this week for us. We have gotten 2.5 million views the last 3 days. I can barely keep up with the comments. But I say this so much of how much we appreciate you guys, and you guys are the backbone of what we do week after week, show after show. Without you, it's not possible for us to get to 20,000. But this is a number that I still can't wrap my mind around, because when Harrison and I started this, we had no visions of this happening. And it's just kind of taken off. It's been incredible. So just want to thank you guys and thank everybody that's watching. It has been an incredible ride. We're coming up on 4 years, I think, next week. And it's been crazy. But the people we've met, the fun, this episode we had was probably one of the most fun episodes that we've had in a while. I was just front to back, just laughing the whole time. And that's what it's about. I hope you guys have just as much fun watching us as we have putting it together every week. So really appreciate you, fellas.
And we're sorry for you guys that were hurt by our argument. We'll try not to argue in front of the kids anymore.
Yeah, we'll do better. We have counseling scheduled for 5 p.m. tomorrow, Harrison.
Great. I can't wait to be there.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, appreciate it, man. We have a great time with it, and we love it because there's not many baseball podcasts, if any, that I know that allow the fans to be part of the show. And that's all Harrison and I are fans of baseball. And we want it to be a place where fans can come and share their thoughts and opinions and not be chastised for them. Like this might have been a crazy one to start because we're not usually like the debate. We don't debate much on this show. We really don't. Puts tissues away. So like that's why kind of everyone's acting like that in the chat. It's because we really don't debate much on this show.
Yeah,
Like
we're good for like a couple times a year, and that's about it.
Yeah. So pretty crazy. But yeah, welcome Ryan. We're on every Sunday 9 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 p.m. as well. So pretty cool. But yeah, thank you again. Means a lot to everybody that follows us, listens to the show, answers comments on Facebook. My wife, my family, my mom and dad supporting us through this. I mean, my dad's like the first one to like all my posts. Like every time it goes out at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, my dad's first one, Kevin Arno. Boom, boom. So love it.
I mean, it was the case back when we started. I mean, we would get like 2 likes on a post. Your dad and my wife. Those were like guaranteed likes.
Yeah. Then my mom starts sharing all our stuff, so her friends are tuning in too. So it's really cool. So
well, Captain.
Love it. Love it. So really appreciate all the support. Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, guys. Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
There are other time zones in this country.
Yeah, I forget how many people we have that watch that are not in our not on the East Coast like us.
Yeah, crazy. So really appreciate it. Yeah, and the last thing I have before we open it up to all you guys is the giveaway. So go on Facebook, go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us a review. Your name gets entered into the raffle. We will draw one live on the show. I didn't say that last time. We will draw it live on the show or spin a wheel or something. Harrison will
do one of the wheels.
Out. Yeah, Harrison's the smart one. So we'll have him figure it out.
Nick's the eye candy.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Dudes love him.
Yeah, absolutely. The chick in the hat, you mean?
Yeah, the chick in the hat.
So go ahead, give us a review there. And you'll be added into the drawing. So please do us a favor and do that. So
it's all fun and games till you get booed.
Sorry, John.
And Captain, I think Captain might have been with us the longest of anybody here. I mean,
he's 1,000%.
One of the originals. He's an OG.
Yep, it's been awesome. So thanks for the wild ride, fellas. We are hoping to keep this going. So
Nick Arno, thirst trap. I love it.
That's me. I'm gonna put that as my name tag next week.
It's TT.
Yep. All right. So before we go, this is your part of the show. Harrison brings up the Facebook and YouTube chat. Anything you guys want to bring or ask us, let us know.
I've been sitting on one here for a little while that I'm hesitant to drop at the almost 2-hour mark, but it's our show. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, that's right.
So did you see Jeff Passan's comments earlier today about the Dodgers?
Maybe remind me real quick.
And the work stoppage. Did you see that comment?
Sort of. What was the exact comment?
Right.
I can't remember. Exactly.
All right. So here we go. I want chat to jump on this because this is a fun one. So Jeff Passan basically came out and made a comment today where he said that he views the Brewers-Dodgers series as critical to baseball's next steps because his perspective is if the Dodgers beat the Brewers, big payroll beats little payroll, and then the Dodgers continue on in the World Series, that is going to push the owners even harder for a salary cap. He feels like the Dodgers winning is going to basically guarantee the loss of the 2027 season because there is a group of owners who are refusing to budge on that. And he basically said that this could be what pushes them over the edge.
So he said the Dodgers would push the owners over the edge if they win?
The Dodgers winning again would be bad for MLB's plan. Or it would be bad for MLB's goal of avoiding the work stoppage. I'm going to pull up the actual comment, but there were people like losing their minds on the various posts that I saw online.
I don't even know where to go with this one. So I'm just, so Carl said, he said the Dodgers winning could save them from a work stoppage. You're saying it would guarantee the work stoppage if they win, right?
Yes. So his comment was, and I'll read it word for word. The winner of the NLCS could determine whether Major League Baseball is played in 2027. Owners across the game want a salary cap, and if the Dodgers, with their record $500 million plus payroll, win back-to-back World Series, it will only embolden the league's push to regulate salaries. So Passan basically views it as, if the Dodgers go out and win again with their massive salary, the group of owners that want a salary cap, it's just going to piss them off even more.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, right? I mean, how the team with the highest payroll wins back-to-back World Series when other teams can't spend is an issue, right? I mean, and I get this just makes, right? Just blame everything on the Dodgers. And I get it.
I mean, yes.
But right? I mean, I totally understand that point. Like, and the Yankees were like that when they won on the 90s. It's like, oh, well, they have all this money to spend. And they didn't even need to spend all their money because a lot of their guys were homegrown or they made deals to bring them in. They didn't sign many free agents in the 90s. I'm saying the early 2000s, they started to spend with Teixeira and A-Rod and all that stuff. But that aside, I think I understand what Passan's saying because it is an issue and there are owners that can't spend that much, but we also have owners that won't spend that. Right? We have cases of that as well. Listen, whether the Dodgers win or not, we're not having baseball in 2027. We're not.
I'd be shocked if you see any baseball played that year, unless somebody gives major concessions.
Either way, if Brewers come back and win this series, we're still not having baseball in 2027. Like, if we do, it's going to be a shortened season. I
think you'll be lucky to salvage any of that season, I think, because this is the hill that owners and the Players Association are prepared to die on. They will fight all the way to the end. Now, baseball's had a great run of parity in terms of World Series winners. However, there are a handful of teams that are just always in it, and they tend to spend at the top of the league. But more importantly, you look at the chart that I posted the other day of 2024 revenue versus 2025 payroll. The Dodgers were a $750 million revenue team. The next closest I want to say was the Yankees, like $200 million behind them. It's not even close. It's not close. The Dodgers are in one of the biggest media markets. They got this massive international pull in Shohei. The reason they paid Shohei $70 million is they're making almost $200 million a year off of him. Yeah. Easy. $70 million is basically nothing more than a profit share with Shohei. You can justify that all day long.
Yeah. It's going to happen. No matter who wins, Dodgers get swept by the Blue Jays in the World Series or the Mariners in the World Series, we're still not playing baseball in 2027. That's just what it is. They are miles apart. They're not going to just all of a sudden concede because we have seen before both sides are stubborn as hell. It's not happening. Now listen, just makes yes, there is this issue too, right? We have guys in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to mention any names.
Bob Nutting.
That just holds onto it and doesn't spend, right? At the same time, he can't spend nearly to the capacity that the Dodgers can. There's no way, right? And you can't convince me. The Colorado Rockies, same thing, right? They have a family. They're only worth, what did you say, 700 million? I mean,
the Monforts, I want to say net worth is like 700 plus million.
Yeah, you have the Dodgers at 12 billion in their ownership group with a B. Yeah. That's substantially higher.
Not close.
And not just one family. You got numerous owners in there. So, I get it, right? There are owners that do need to spend back on their money, but I don't know if a cap fixes that though, right? We've talked about it before, is I think each team should be made to spend a minimum, right? The owners should have to have a certain amount of payroll, which they're going to fight tooth and nail on because they're going to say, you can't make me spend my own money, is what that's going to come back to. But if you want a salary cap, then you have, you've said numerous times, Harrison, you still have to have the money you have available right now. You have to put it underneath that umbrella somewhere.
Right.
And bringing up the floor does that.
Yeah, the only way you can guarantee the pool of money stays close to the same is to create the floor and the cap. And I've actually been I'm not a big proponent of the cap. I think the luxury tax works as long as it remains punitive. The issue is the deferred money.
Yeah,
That's the loophole, the way that counts against luxury tax, because you there's like 30 million bucks a year for Shohei's salary that's not counted, that should be taxed. Like you
right.
look at that. I'm trying to pull up the little chart that I posted, but when you look at what the Dodgers pay in payroll plus tax, it's insane. Like they're paying the league back like 150 million bucks in tax that then gets put in the profit share pool and given out to everybody. Like the Dodgers are funding their competition. Yeah, so it's the Dodgers. It's 399 million in payroll, 150 million dollars in luxury tax.
Yeah,
Like that's just a check to Major League Baseball. We're just paying the fee for breaking the rules. But like you look at some of these teams, like the Mets are at 328 and 71. They're at basically 400 million. Their revenue is only 444 million. Cohen's paying that out of his own pocket.
right.
But you go down this list, the Dodgers payroll at 399 is more than the revenue of like half the league. Like it's not even close.
No,
So
no,
there are absolutely owners that choose not to spend. I mean, hell, Fenway Sports Group, they could spend more. There are teams that choose not to spend, but there's also a lot of teams that even if they were spending, they're not going to get anywhere near where the Dodgers currently sit.
no. I
Couldn't do
For
it.
me, like there's enough parity in the league, which we've seen the last 26 years, right? That yes, not the team with the highest payroll doesn't win every single year because baseball itself has a lot of parity in it. In the game of baseball, I'm not talking, teams or whatever. The game of baseball itself, at its fundamental grassroots, has a ton of parity in it itself. So you still have to go out, throw the ball, hit the ball, and a lot can happen. So yes, you can have a lower market team win the World Series in any given year. Right? Heck, we replay this 2025 season the same way. We could have completely different teams in the playoffs, completely different teams winning, different playoff series, different results, because that's how much parity is in baseball fundamentally. Now, they want to keep that in play because it makes all the fan bases engaged. If you just have the highest payroll, just win, 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 people are going to stop coming out because it's just going to be like, I don't really want to see my team just get their face bashed in night after night after night. When baseball over the last 150 years has had different winners for a long period of time. Like my team has a chance every single night. And now my team doesn't. Like I go into LA, I go into the Dodgers, I go into Yankee Stadium, whatever. Like I don't have a chance because they have the 25 best guys in the league on the team because they have unlimited money. And I don't. So I think the league has to be very careful here. And I think that's why we don't see baseball at all. Because they are leagues apart.
Yep. Yeah. So it's the Dodgers were 752 million. I apologize. I thought the Yankees were 528. They're 728. So they're actually right behind the Dodgers. But that's also got their TV money in it, which makes a huge difference. And then from there you drop down to basically the Cubs and Red Sox, who are in the high fives. A huge gap. There's a huge gap.
Yeah. Yeah. How much of a gap is it between the top and the mids?
I mean, your average team is probably around, I don't know, high threes. Call it 400 million to use round numbers. It's almost double. Like the Dodgers and Yankees are almost double the average team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, the Yankees are $150 million more than the Red Sox, and they're in markets that are pretty close to the same size. And they also have their own TV networks. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is interesting because Passan wrote the article a couple of days ago and it got real traction today and it kind of blew up with the comments he made. But it is, we talked about like the economic model of baseball is broken. I've been saying that for like 2 years now. The economic model is broken. It could be fixed without having to make massive changes. by just not allowing you. If you want to defer the money, I don't care, but you got to pay the tax on it now.
Yeah.
Fine. Like that goes in the luxury tax calculation. Now that starts jacking up the price. But I think the luxury tax is more punitive than the cap, because you're right. I mean, the Dodgers ownership group, the sad part is that the Mets and Dodgers, they don't care if the team makes money. It doesn't have to. They're using this as tax. This is a tax shelter for both of them. The Dodgers are funding $100+ million operating losses just out of their checkbooks, because using it as a tax shelter for other things they're doing. Same with Cohen. Not every owner is set up to do that. Some of these owners, they can't write $100 million check every year to fund operating losses like these guys can. Nor would they want to. Why would you spend $2 billion in a business you gotta then pay to keep it running? Like, it makes no sense. Like, and the hard part is fans don't get that aspect of baseball. It's a business.
Yeah.
You don't spend $2 billion or $4 billion to buy a team and then write $100 million check every year to keep it operating. There's nobody in their right mind would invest in that. And that's why baseball, that's part of why the Twins pulled it off the market, because there were no legitimate buyers for this. They didn't feel, because it is really hard to get an owner to get excited to have to go in and spend that kind of money to keep up and fund losses out of their checkbook. It's just not going to happen.
No. Yeah, Cap and Harrison and I are with you. You make the deferred money go away, I think this is a completely different issue, right? Because then you're paying the league more, right? You're paying all of your competition more money if it counts towards the cap.
So explain this one to me. And this is a rabbit hole maybe we don't want to go down, but I'm going to do it anyways. When you defer a salary, so the Dodgers deferred $68 million this year for Shohei, they have to fund that deferral. It's not like they wait until 10 years down the road when it comes due. They have to actually escrow the money, whether it's through an annuity, whether it's through some kind of investment vehicle. They have to put cash in a separate account. They have to actually cash secure that deferral. So you're telling them to pay the deferral to themselves and keep it, but you're not charging them the luxury tax on it. It makes no sense to me why you're making them fund the obligation, but you're not computing that into their luxury tax. It makes no sense to me how you set that up and thought that was a good idea.
I got nothing. I don't know. Like, if you, whatever the length of the contract is and how much money you get him, you divide that by the years of the contract, and that's what counts against the cap, or the whatever you want to call it, the luxury tax. You're paying Shohei $700 million over 10 years. $70 million should count towards the luxury tax. End of story. Every year.
Yep.
And it doesn't.
So you got a guy like Steve Cohen, who he actually took all of Juan Soto's contract value. No, now granted, Juan Soto's not deferring money, but Steve Cohen put $700 million in a separate investment account that's just spinning off returns to him every year, and he just pulls from that to pay Juan. Like, he's already prepaid the contract to himself, but he's a hedge fund manager. Like, that's what they do. Like, he's going to make money off that money until it's got to go out the door. It's not the same. You now have the Dodgers ownership group, the Mets owner. These are financial people. These are financial engineers. They know how to be able to how to make the same dollar, spend like $1.50, and they're playing a different game.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know what you just said to me, but it sounds crazy.
It's different. It's a different approach. We're used to the good old days of, like, George Steinbrenner would write a check for payroll,
right?
And the Red Sox would, had no money, so it didn't matter. But they don't play the game that way anymore. These are financial engineers that are now finding ways to actually, to defer money, fund money, make money off the money while it's sitting there. I mean, this Dodgers ownership group is a bunch of billionaires who made all their money in finance, and they're just playing a different game.
Yeah. It's just crazy. But nobody can wrap their mind. The average fan can't wrap their minds around what you just spelled out for everybody. No, they don't understand it.
You look at a guy like Bob Nutting, and not that I'm trying to defend Bob Nutting, because he could spend more money, but he's not. It's not like he's making $100 million a year and putting in his pocket. He's making like 10.
Right.
He's got a multi-billion-dollar asset that is literally, if that was real estate, it would be worthless with that return. But because it's the Major League Ball Club, it's worth something to him. But it's one of those things where the average fan wants to see the team spend on payroll. They want to see the team win. They want to see them be competitive. But you're asking owners to literally write personal checks to fund the team that you want them to build, and they're like, I'm not going to do that. I didn't buy this thing to keep paying for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you repeat the part about the stuff where you said all about the things?
But
Yeah.
it's a complete the business of baseball, the economic model of baseball has changed so much in 10 years. And you've had people that have found ways to basically arbitrage the game, and they've broken
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And that's where we stand.
Yeah.
And you've got owners that just can't make those moves.
And then that's where the tug of war begins, is right there in 2027, because they're not going to budge on it, because they're going to be I can't compete. I can't compete with that. I can't compete with 12 billionaires. I'm one guy. I'm one guy. I don't have an ownership group. And then if I do have an ownership group, I have to give up equity in it, and then like I lose even more money. So like there's just no we're in for a long one. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
We're in for a long one.
It's this World Series may break baseball. Is the general feeling from Jeff Passan. This World Series may be what finally breaks baseball.
Oh yeah, that was the initial point. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. That's where we started here. Is that Passan's
Yeah.
basically calling out all these things and saying this will be what sets this thing off.
I don't think he's necessarily wrong.
No.
I mean, I don't agree with him all the time, but he's pretty tapped into the inner workings of MLB. And I don't think he's wrong here. But the only way I do think he's wrong is I don't think it matters who wins. We're still heading in that direction. It just looks way worse if the Dodgers do win back to back.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's
I
not a good.
agree
It's
and
not a good
disagree.
look.
Right.
It's not a good look given the overall temperature in baseball. But
Right. Yeah.
But it's gonna get interesting. And the Dodgers, yeah, I think it was it Ryan was saying, the funeral's at 7:00 tomorrow. I mean, Brewers are done. They're gonna get dispatched with prejudice by the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And it was never really even a fight.
And the Brewers had the best record in baseball, which is crazy. They were 6-0 against the Dodgers this year. But everybody got healthy at the right time, and then bang, that was it. Like that doesn't matter. It's over. Yep. The 94 strike was billionaires fighting with millionaires. It nearly destroyed baseball forever. If it happens again, baseball will never recover. And Carl, I'm with you. I mean, it was tough, and like we could go down this rabbit hole with steroids, and it saved the game and all of that stuff after, because in my eyes, it did. Now, granted, I'm not quite old enough to really understand what the 94 strike was about, but I remember coming out of it, like I didn't really start watching baseball, A, because I was young enough, and B, it wasn't really exciting for me until I started playing and was watching it on TV, because guys were hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They were exciting. They were throwing hard again. Like baseball had a different look coming out of the strike. So for me, steroids kind of saved the game there. It brought it back to where it is now. It was the foundation of bringing baseball back. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people have different views of that, and that's okay. If you do, I'm not holding that against you.
Yep.
But for me, that's how it looks for me. Baseball was dead coming out of 94, 95. Right? And then all of a sudden we're talking about McGuire and Sosa. We're talking about Bonds in 03. We're talking about all this stuff. Right? Yeah, Expos should have won the World Series in 94. They had a stacked team.
So they were going to. They were so good.
But baseball was dying. And then Bud Selig was like, "Oh, I'm not watching anything." You're like, okay, good. All right. Like you guys are good. So yeah, and this was me too. I came home from school, turned on WGN, and they're like, "Well, yesterday afternoon was the last afternoon of baseball." And I'm like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why?" And not understanding why. But for me, steroids saved the game. And that's why I feel like these guys should be in the Hall at this point. They brought baseball back. It was an era. It was 30 years ago. It was a part of the game. Is it a dark part of the game? Yeah, absolutely. But baseball was dead. If not dead, dying at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
Right? And those guys brought it back. So it's time to move on. It's time to shut the book. Let those guys into the hall. And if you want to acknowledge it as an era in baseball, the steroid era, the needle era, whatever you want to name it, fine. But they deserve to be in because they did pave the way to how the game looks like today. End of rant.
No, I mean, we've said it a billion times. The guy that presided over that era is in the Hall of Fame smiling while everybody else is on the outside
Brutal.
looking in. It's just absolutely brutal. But 98 was definitely like one of the best seasons of baseball I've ever watched because for so many reasons, not just the home run race, but it was just a great season.
Yeah, easy.
But and I think to go back to, was it Carl that mentioned, the 94 strike was billionaires fighting millionaires. You're the billionaire owners fighting the millionaire players, that the owners thought they made too much. The players thought they weren't making enough. And now you got billionaires fighting with billionaires about the millionaires because you got owners now that aren't even in agreement now. So there's all this time spent trying to, Manfred was trying to bring all the owners together and then workshop this. And you've now got this faction of owners that are like, we don't have a problem with this. And everybody else is like, well, screw you guys. We do. It's like now even your owners aren't aligned anymore on what the game plan is.
Right.
Because you've now got owners that disagree with each other. So billionaires fighting billionaires, all about the millionaires that they employ. And it's becoming like a three-way fight.
Yeah.
And Manfred and Tony Clark are just going to have to do their best to hang on and steer through it. But this is going to be ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, Captain, baseball was a fish gasping for air. I was 13, so I have somewhat of a grasp on the situation. Yeah, it was during the strike. And then John, like after that, the highlights on ESPN became a must-watch every morning before high school. 1,000%.
Baseball
I couldn't
tonight, yes, Sports Center in the morning. Hell yeah.
I couldn't get dressed fast enough to turn on my TV for like the top 10 or like, the headlines at the beginning of the show during 98 because it was absolutely incredible. But yeah, I hate the whole they cheated thought. Yes, they did. We all know they did. Like that's the thing. We all know they did. Okay, whatever. The commissioner knew they did. Like I mean, come on, you can't tell me he didn't. So like, let him in, save the game. We're still watching it today. Enjoy it. And just enjoy the era for what it is. Just like my posts, just please enjoy my posts for what they are. And don't ask me why I left certain guys off a lineup. Thank you.
Babe Ruth. Always Babe Ruth, Nick. Don't forget.
Well, that one I understand. But he
apparently
did leave
not. You want to put Shohei in his place, but
he did leave a review today, so I lowered his 6th show suspension to 4. So
oh, good. All right.
Yep. Man. Well, and
it was cheaters beating cheaters. Okay.
Yeah, and this is what I mean, Carl. It's like the commissioner knew they were cheating, all the players knew they were all cheating. Like everybody was doing it, right? It's still cheating, yes, because you have one or two guys that didn't cheat, which makes the other guys cheaters, right? I guess is how you would say it.
Well, it's like Captain says, if everyone's cheating, then is it really cheating?
Yeah. I mean, if one guy's not, then everybody else is cheating, right? Or is that guy cheating for not doing it?
Whoa. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there.
Yes. It doesn't make a sound.
Yeah. It does, and it doesn't at the same time.
But I think my overall point is like it's just time to move on from that. Like baseball fans are still stuck on that 30 years ago. Guys, 30 years ago. Think about that. It's time to move on. Time to move on. It's time to move on from that. It happened. Oh well, we're done. But
and what's amazing to think is that this is coming in the face of 3 of baseball's biggest growth years in a long time.
Yes.
I mean, this is baseball's like back to its glory days, and they're going to shut it down.
Right. One guy's a Chinese, an idiot. Yeah, and Harrison, that's a great point, because you have the 3 biggest growth years, and then you have the 2026 WBC coming up.
Yeah.
And if it's anything like the 2023 WBC, it was off the chain in March a couple years ago.
26 is going to be a banger of a year.
Baseball was back. The US lineup looks incredible. It's shaping up to be incredible there. Japan's always good. You have all the Caribbean teams that are going to be incredible. Central American teams, South America. Like, it's going to be another great WBC. Just for baseball to kill the momentum at the end of 2026. Brutal. It's going to be a tough one to recover from.
Yep. Those late 80s, early 90s A's were fun to watch. Those teams were nasty good.
Yep. So
30. That's the same thing I just thought of, Captain. 30 years, man. I'm getting old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's amazing that 30 years later, baseball's having the same fight. Now it's just becoming owners fighting.
Yeah, it's trillionaires over billionaires now. That's all, just with inflation.
Yeah, it's billionaires fighting. It's billionaires fighting billionaires about the guys who are about to become billionaires based on how they're getting paid.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, well, love that rabbit hole. That was a good one, man.
Yeah.
Isn't baseball to be in on the LA Olympics too? I think it is coming back, right? Is it? Or is it the next? Is it? 2028?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's this cycle or next. Yeah, 28. It's not this cycle. 28. It's next.
Wait, our Summer Olympics. When's the next Summer Olympics? 28?
I don't know. He asked me like I watched the Olympics.
I mean, that's also facts. I don't either.
Facts.
Yeah, it is 2028.
Okay.
I want to say baseball might not be coming back in 28. I think it's 32 they announced it.
I mean, maybe the work stoppage will be over by then. If not, these major league guys are going to be looking for work.
It is, yeah, plans to return in 2028 according to Google AI. So take that as you will, but
so it's wrong.
It says most likely it is, but
unless it's a lineup, then it's definitely right.
Goodness gracious, man.
Moron.
you guys should see Blue Jays just won, man.
That game was over a few innings ago.
Yeah.
I mean, John Temple called it in the 4th inning, so.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy.
You guys should see some of the messages we get. They're wild.
Yeah, the last few days since we've had this kind of like big uptick in views and stuff, it has been pretty incredible. But all right. Yeah, John, you're all right. 28. They're coming back in 28. So all right. Do you have anything else before we head off for the evening?
That's it. I was a little hesitant to throw that one out there, but I figured why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here for it.
This has been a spicy show. Let's get into it.
Yeah, love it. All right. Well, we will be back on Sunday. Hopefully the Brewers can turn it around. Hopefully the Mariners can turn it around, or the Blue Jays keep it going, whichever way you are pulling. But this Dodgers team is a runaway train right now. I don't know if there's anyone that's going to stop them. But we will see. Baseball is a funny game. So again, fellas and ladies, thank you so much for 20,000 followers. This journey has been incredible. The people we've met on here, it's been more than what I thought this was going to be. So just really want to show my gratitude to you guys. And leave us a review, please. So all right. Yep. Okay.
You might see it in our merch store soon.
Yep. Love it. So yeah. keep up the support. We really appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the comments. And if not, we'll see you on Sunday. Have a good weekend. Go Mariners, go Blue Jays, go Brewers. Don't go Dodgers.